And them used to own Kelly Foods.
Okay.
You know, they own one in Jackson.
Right.
And had one in Missouri.
Right.
See?
Right. They was millionaires.
Oh, yeah.
They was self-proclaimed millionaires.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of them out there that does that. And I don't have a problem in people doing that, do you? I mean, if you're good enough, smart enough, or you're lucky enough, whichever way you want to look at it.
When Mark come here.
How fast would them boats go? Like 200 mile an hour?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they'd get up to like 200 mile an hour.
Yeah. Oh, it seemed like every time I turned around, Steve had that big old boat in and take up the
You know,
whole
once
paint
them
shop.
boats get out there when they're in competition like that, did you know if they ever get into a bad accident, basically the boat freaking disintegrates around the freaking man that's driving it.
Right.
And it usually kills them.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
I would imagine it would.
The boat just basically disintegrates. You know, I went up to that explosion up there in Middle Tennessee, whenever that explosion happened a couple of weeks ago. They said the concussion of that thing was so severe. It was actually blowing windows out and causing crack line hairs in doorways and stuff, buildings and stuff. And I guess it caused some sort of a light tremor earthquake up in that area. I think what was it, a 2.3 or 2 point something? Anyways, they said it basically disintegrated them guys.
Yeah, that's where they made bombs.
Disintegrated them.
Yeah.
They had to go up there with forensic experts and find a finger here and find a jaw over here, find a leg over, or a toe over here. Said they had to get all the people that worked to go get their toothbrushes and their hair. That way they could get DNA samples to know who it was.
Wasn't it 19 of them? Or
they thought it was 19. I think they deducted that down to 16.
Oh, man.
But was that done intentionally or was that done accidentally? You know, whenever those guys go to work in them places like that, they're supposed to go through some sort of a safety test, right?
Oh, yeah. Just like a... What's Blair calling me?
And also...
Oh, no, that's my neighbor.
Tell him everything's all right.
Hello?
Hey, Bubba.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right. Sitting here talking to a friend of mine that I used to work with over at Collision Specialist.
Okay. I was just checking on you, man. How's everything been going?
Oh, doing fine. Doing fine.
Good deal. I was just going to ask you something. What is Bill's wife's name? Judy?
Who?
Judy?
Whose wife?
Bill. That lives on this road, Buck Lane.
Oh, it has that haunted hollow or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, Judy. Yeah.
That's what, so it's Bill and Judy.
Yeah.
What is their last name?
Ooh, that I don't know, Blair.
I know it. I've been trying to think of it all night.
That I don't know, son. I have no idea.
Well, either way, you've been doing all right, though?
Oh, yeah. Doing fine.
I was just checking on you, Bubba. I figure I'm about to go meet some friends, but I was just going to call and check on you.
Oh, I thought you were going to go over to that girl's house.
No, I've been talking to her, but she said she's working tonight. She might be seeing another man, but who knows?
Well, I say it was her. Of course, I have a storm door, door open, look out the storm door. And it was probably her, because as soon as she passed here, she blowed that horn.
Is that what she done?
Blowed at you, I guess.
No, as soon as she passed here?
Oh, it was yesterday, I think. As soon as she passed this trailer, I heard that horn, so I figured she's blown at your house.
Yeah. Well, either way,
Go see Bubba. Go see
I love
Bubba.
you, man. And just know if you need anything, okay?
All right, son, I love you too.
Go see Bubba. Go see Bubba.
Bye-bye.
Ain't no need me. You don't want me loving on you. You don't want me loving on you.
Oh, boy.
Look at his eyes, Bubba. Look at that dog's eyes. Look in his eyes.
What's his name?
Hey, Jack.
Jack, come here. Let me see.
You see any eyes like that, Bubba? That
They won't be still.
almost looks like human
Yeah,
eyes.
they
huh?
sure do. They sure do.
Stay away from Miss Smokes. You ain't gonna start that bad habit. Nope. Lay down.
No, you don't need right
Lay down. Bubba, ain't them things awful? $10 a pack?
These here cost me $7.19 a pack.
Good God.
But you go get a pack of marble. No, over at that meeting one stop. $7.19. But you can drive up there to that dollar store, right there in Maiden. $10. $10.
I think they're like $20 back in New York. But getting back to all this stuff going on in the news, and Donald Trump almost getting assassinated, and all this other stuff, Bubba, I just don't know where all this stuff is going to land. Do you? And laying off all these federal workers and trying to shave here and shave there, which there's no doubt nobody wants fraud, nobody wants to see abuse of money, nobody wants to see abuse of power. But whenever you overdo it, you can actually create more of a problem than you have towards a solution to it. You know what I'm saying? Especially at the expense of these farmers right now that are catching it on the cheek, pertaining to how that we've made China mad, and now China has boycotted us pertaining to the soybean market. They no longer get not one soybean from us. They're getting it all from Argentina, somewhere in South America. Well, now soybeans, that sounds like thunder on a motorcycle. Anyways, these soybeans is now under $9 a bushel, and they got to make at least $11 a bushel just to be able to break even.
Break even.
And their bins is all full, and now there ain't no market to take it to. So what these farmers gonna do?
And look how much the damn equipment cost.
That's another thing. Oh my God.
100,000, 200,000.
Oh my God. Don't even think about buying a cotton picker.
Oh no.
Cotton picker's $1 million.
Combine or nothing.
And to think if somebody gonna make $1 million investment, use it for 2 months, and then park it the other 10, does that make any sense?
No. Well, you know.
Does that make any sense, Bubba? You can take that $1 million investment and invest it in chickens or something, and have a better turnaround.
I could live off the entrance.
Well, you used to could. I doubt
Well,
if you
you
could
know.
now. But
Well,
still,
you know what I mean.
but still, as far as a turnaround, you'd be better off opening up a garbage collecting, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Recycling freaking plastic or something.
Well,
everything's out of balance.
well, that's what I was gonna say.
Everything.
It's one country trying to keep up with another country. They got these tractors, they got these combines, they got these cotton pickers, all them damn computers on them, telling them when to turn. And some of these tractors, you can set that computer, that tractor a turn on itself. Person in the damn tractor ain't even got to put his hand on the steering wheel.
Ain't that something?
What's the
So
use?
where's all this going? Where's all this heading to? I mean, they was talking on the news about going to have artificial intelligence with all these robots that's going to take like a third or a fourth of the working load away of the jobs away.
Yeah,
so what are we going to do then? I mean, if it's bad now, can you only think about what's going to be like 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now?
Yeah.
As far as people not having no jobs, not being able to earn their keep,
The young people,
they don't have a snowball
they ain't
chance
got-
in it.
That's right.
Unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth of your parents having some money or having a business or something,
Yeah.
they're in bad shape.
I got a 1.5-year old great granddaughter.
I know a lot of high-tech people that ain't even working for the federal government but works in contract stuff.
Yeah.
Basically all computer stuff. They're starting to get laid off.
Oh yeah. And then this damn shutdown, and it's all due to damn
Bubba, it's both of them's fault.
Obama.
It's both of
insurance.
them's fault. It's both of them's fault, and you know it to be. They can play both sides against the middle, or play the middle in between, blaming on each other. But the bottom line is, it's both of them's fault, and it never should have got this far out of hand.
Exactly.
$37 trillion. You know how many billions it takes to make a trillion? It takes a million billions. You know how many millions it takes to make a billion? A million millions. A million millions to make 1 billion. To make 1 billion.
Well, yeah.
And then it takes a million billions to make a freaking trillion.
Trillion.
And we're already 37 of them in behind the 8 ball.
We ain't gonna ever.
I don't know if it's a wicked game that they're playing on the poor people and the working people, or whatever it is, because they're still wanting to keep the big corporations afloat, but the little guys are collapsing. And I guarantee you, whenever enough of the small fish fail, and the big fish ain't got nothing to chew off on other than the big fish eating the other big fish, that's whenever the system will crash.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to crash just like a gallon of milk. You know, whenever a gallon of milk goes bad, it don't go bad on the bottom and the top's still good, or one side of a gallon of milk go bad and the other side still be good. I think whenever the money goes bad, it's going to go bad for the working man. It's going to go bad for the retired man. It's going to go bad for the rich man. I think the money's going to go bad on the East Coast just like it will on the West Coast. I think whenever the money goes bad, it's going to be just like a gallon of milk. It's going to go bad for everybody.
Everybody. Well, you know who runs this United States? The middle class people that work. Us.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But whenever they go to cutting and shaving here and shaving there, like I said, nobody wants to see fraud. Nobody wants to see abuse. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be logical about going about doing it. That's kind of like, to me, now this, I've reassessed this several different times pertaining to all the illegal immigrants. First of all, they never should have been allowed to have come over here the way that they did. That should have stopped. That should have never started 20 years ago, much less all these freaking mayors and governors and sanctuary cities and sanctuary towns and sanctuary freaking states like California. That in and of itself is a violation of our laws.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're protecting somebody and you know that they've committed a crime, well, guess what? That makes you an accessory to that crime.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to protect that person, knowing that person come over here illegally, that makes you just as guilty as the person that come over here.
That's right.
It wouldn't be no different if you seen somebody murder somebody and you didn't have enough sense to pick up the phone and say, hey, I just got through seeing somebody get killed over here. You think the man won't come over and investigate it? Well, if you don't say nothing, if you don't make that telephone call, guess what that makes you? It makes you an accessory to the crime. And that means that you're just as guilty as the person that pulled the trigger.
That's right.
Now, that's the way I understand that our laws are supposed to run, Bubba. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I'm right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So you got all these illegal immigrants that's come over here. Well, some of them have been over here for like 10 years. They've got 2 or 3 children that's been born in the American system. They don't have no background as far as criminal offenses. They don't even have offenses towards breaking the law on the road they got their driver's license. I don't know how they done it. But those type of people should be looked upon differently than the people that's coming out here and are breaking the law and don't care about our laws and are basically doing whatever that they want to do.
Yeah, whatever hell they want
So
to do.
something's going to have to be handled with the illegal immigrants more on a fairer scale, I think.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Now.
Yeah. But these...
It's got to be fair. I mean, you got to have some logic in behind it. I mean, if you got somebody over here that's been over here for 10 years and they ain't got no offenses, and they've had a wife and 2 or 3 children or 4 or 5 children, and they become a pillar to the community, and now all of a sudden you're going to jerk that person out of the community. You know what that's going to do to the community? That's going to damage the community.
Yeah.
That ain't just going to damage that person that didn't get the green card 10 years ago when they come over. That's going to damage the community, and that's what this system is doing. That's what this presidency is doing right now. They're going to have to use a little bit of common sense whenever it comes to getting out here and raiding all these freaking people.
Oh, I know it.
Don't you think?
I'm getting where I get up in the morning
You don't know what to expect to see
on the news, and I'm getting where I don't even watch it sometimes.
It's depressing.
Very depressing. And then, when you do watch it,
You get
you
frustrated.
get upset.
You get
frustrated.
Yeah.
How in the hell can somebody, you sit here looking at, how in the hell can somebody do that and get away with it?
It's our Congress. Our Congress needs to be called down. Yeah. The president don't have no more power than what our Congress gives him.
That's right. That's right.
And whenever you have people up there on both sides that can't get along for the will of the people, for the betterment of the good, you need to get rid of all of them. You get rid of all of them and start all over again with another group of people.
Exactly.
And whenever it comes to this indebtedness, really and truly, all this funny money that America's been putting out towards towards building these $100 bills and making these printing presses get even faster and faster and faster. You know as well as I do, whenever it comes to the dollar bill, our dollar bill probably lost its face value probably over 20, 30 years ago.
Why, yeah.
I mean,
now-
you got some countries out there that won't even accept the dollar bill. Did you know that? To say the dollar bill ain't no good.
Ain't good. Well, you know, last year, or year before last, they talking about all this gold supposed to be up at Fort Knox.
Have you ever seen gold go so high? It's over $4,000 an ounce.
But they talking about, well, that Fort Knox ain't got that gold. There ain't no gold up there at Fort Knox. Well, they interviewed this guy that worked there, you know. He said, I guarantee it's there.
Did you know that shortly either in the Civil War era or after the Civil War era, they outlawed any American citizen of having as much as 1 gold ounce, and it didn't become legal? It did not become legal until about 1971, whenever you could hold gold in your own house or in your own bank.
And now,
Why did they do that for?
I don't know, but now on TV,
Why did they do that for, though, Bubba? Think about that. You gonna tell me that you got a right to hold gold, but I don't?
I know it. Well, look at the gold rushes back years and years ago. Well, now on TV they have this show where they show these people out digging for it. It's a series that's on once a week.
Well, sometimes they get lucky and they hit it like a hot bang.
Oh, I've seen them have a bag of it.
Yes, sir.
$4,000 what, an ounce?
$4,000 an ounce.
They don't tell them what they're worth now. They've been digging that gold.
Probably a quarter weigh an ounce, don't you think?
Huh?
A quarter, a regular American
Yeah.
quarter, will probably weigh over an ounce.
Oh yeah, I would think so. What in the world wrong?
Or I
with you?
say it weigh an ounce. I don't know. It takes. I'm gonna let him outside. He's acting up. It takes how many grams to make an ounce? 32. 32 grams to make an ounce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
1
that.
ounce.
I'm gonna say that quarter is at least. It is at least
Yeah.
18 to 20 grams.
What's wrong with you?
So I'm gonna say he does that. I don't know. I'm gonna change his shampoo. I'm gonna let him out and tie him to a pole out here.
Why? He probably just got to go out there and pee.
No, he ain't got to pee. He just scratching like that. I think it's his nerves or his skin got dry. Something.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he's scratching on one side just like he is the other. But I'm
Yeah.
telling you, he don't have fleas. I give him those shots and I give him
yeah.
the things on his hair and stuff.
Yeah.
He don't have that. I think it's either nerves or his skin's gotten dry.
Well, it's coming wintertime. You know, in wintertime, our skin gets dry.
Yeah, it does. It so
You
does.
know, you
don't it?
think about it.
Yeah, because you ain't sweating near as much.
That's right.
Your pores ain't open near
That's
as much.
right. So I probably got to go pee-pee.
Well, I'm going to let him out because he's misbehaving.
Where you going to tie him?
I'm going to tie him to that front porch right there, if that'll be all right.
Why, yeah.
Tie him to a
As long
pole.
as he don't pull it off.
He ain't that strong. But you know what? Whenever I take him to Walmart and I get on one of them electrical buggies,
Yeah.
because it helps me in not wearing out so many joints. I
Yeah.
didn't tell you this, but my insurance company spent a little less than $500,000 on me last year. That's what I was going to tell you a while ago. Of my old injury, the state of Kentucky, pertaining to LVL, deliberately put me on a drug to where I went from 240 to 340. Do you see the weight that I am right now? I'm
Yeah.
at 240.
Yeah,
Less than 6 weeks.
last time I saw you use that damn big
Less than
ram.
6 weeks. I swelled up like a bullfrog.
I know when you pulled up at that day. In
I
that
swelled
truck.
up like a bullfrog. You know what done it? The drug that
Drug.
they had given me. Come to find out that the drug that they had given
Bless
me
you.
had been sued all over America pertaining to this manufacturer that created this drug for billions of dollars because of obesity and breast enhancement.
Oh.
Obesity. Well, if you call somebody to get obesity, you call somebody to get heavy. Well, guess what that done to that old injury? Instead of me walking around with one man, now I'm walking around with two.
Yeah.
So that left ankle, I had to get it fused last year.
Yeah.
That's where the $486 or $87,000 come from towards having that left ankle fused. Because it got to the point, Bubba, when everybody walked across the yard to go get my mail,
Yeah.
I'd get sick. Yeah, because of the pain, dealing with the pain, kind of like what Nate was dealing with.
Darn.
Yeah. Yeah, I know about pain, brother. Whenever you break both legs and crush both ankles, and you have 3 crushed vertebrae and 2 ruptured discs in the lower part of your back, yes, sir, I'm very aware of pain. Pain had become an entity that if I wasn't as strong as what I was towards basically putting mind over matter, pertaining to trying to put the pain out of my mind, I never would have been able to have worked on concrete for 37 years.
You want something to drink?
I've got water. I got plenty right
Okay.
here. I never would have been able to have worked for 37 years towards being self-sufficient again. I never would have been able to have done that if I didn't have a strong mind.
I was trying to hell.
As far as putting pain in behind your mind, but you can only do that for a certain length of time. You know what I'm saying? And of course, whenever they swelled me up the way that they did, I was going and getting cortisone shots about every 6 months at the McKenzie Center over there at the clinic. And at first it would last like 6 months, and then the second one would last like 5 months, and then the third one that I got would last maybe 4 months. Well, I picked up on a program that told me that if you stay doing those cortisone shots like a football player, some other person's got whatever, a tendinitis or whatever in a joint or whatever, that if you do that long enough, if you ever do get to the point that you do have to have a fusure, your bones may not fuse because they become very brittle. Because around that area where they're putting that cortisone shot, it does something to the bone structure itself. You know what I'm saying? So I kept that up for about 4 years after I come back to Tennessee. And I said, you know what, this ain't going to work. So last year, I actually dealt with it for about 10 years. I probably dealt with the cortisone shots for about 5 years. And I said, well, that's going to do me on that. I'm going to have an operation. But you know what? Rather than go to the locals, guess what I done?
Vanderbilt.
Nope. I figured the more you do of anything, the better you're supposed to get about doing it, right?
Yeah.
So I went to Clarksville, where them doctors up there work on them military boys, jumping out of them helicopters all the time towards spraying this and spraying that and damaging this and damaging that. And you know what? I picked one of the best doctors up there at the time. And it did not cost me nothing. $486,000 was spent on me last year. Last year. Of course, that's medication, that's hospital, that's doctor, that's all of it. But my God, if you don't have insurance nowadays, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just a bottle of my medication, because my diabetic doctor is the one that basically said, you need to start losing some weight. And she put me on Majardo. You give yourself a shot once a week, right?
Yeah.
And it starts out at like 2% or 2 grams, and then it goes up to like 5 grams, and it goes up like 7 grams, and then 10 grams. I'm like up now to, I think, 11.5 or something like that, to the point that now I can actually give myself a shot like on a Monday. That's supposed to wait until give yourself a shot on another Monday. I can actually go another 3 or 4 days on the same shot before I have to give myself another shot, because it's strong enough and it stays in my system long enough. And basically what was causing me to gain so much weight was the portions, the amount. Instead of me sitting down and eating one hamburger, I'd try to eat 3.
Oh,
Instead of sitting down and eating one piece of pizza, I tried to eat at least half of it. You know what I'm saying? The portions. And of course, whenever I went through COVID, I lost my brother. I got in a state of depression. And after my brother died, within 10 days, the freaking Weakley County Sheriff's Department come down there and had me arrested. And the reason why they arrested me was because I missed my court date that I and my brother had originally set up. And the reason why that we wanted to take it to a higher court was because my younger brother had already had dealings with those people up there in Dresden. where some people took him down on his own property, now. And he had a Glock in the back end in his pocket, and the Glock fell out and hit the ground. Whenever it hit the ground, one of the daughters said, "Get the gun, get the gun!" And he grabbed up the gun and he had it to my brother's forehead, and he was trying to activate it like that right there, and he never would fire. Well, it just so happens he had one of the modern Glocks to the degree that even though you got a bullet in the chamber, if the clip falls out or the clip ain't in the gun, the gun still will not fire.
Oh, is that right? See,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And that's what saved his life.
One brother put it to another brother?
No, a neighbor.
Oh, a neighbor.
To my younger brother. Thing about it is, I just got through burying my older brother. Then about 7 or 8 months, I buried my dad. And David, my younger brother, said you'd have had 3 funerals to have attended, all within a 12-month span, if I didn't have the right kind of gun. So he tries to go to court. They say, we ain't going to take it out. We ain't going to listen to you, even though the cops found the clip, even though they know that something happened, because David had markings all over him where he'd gotten hit, beat up on. Still wouldn't listen to it. So David was the one that convinced me. He said, what we need to do is go to a higher court. Whatever you do, don't go to that judge. You need to go to another judge.
Yeah.
Okay. So we go down to Union City, we hire an attorney. Well, guess what? The attorney never did let me know whenever the arraignment come up. And I didn't know this. If the attorney don't let you know when the arraignment comes up, even though you was the one that ordered for the arraignment,
Yeah.
the tables get turned and now the judge has the right to come after you. Even though you was the one that ordered the order.
Yeah.
Wanting to go to that particular judge. And guess what? It wasn't a hearsay. My attorney stood in court in front of the judge while they was doing a pre-hearing or arraignment or whatever you call it. This was during the time that I was locked up. And he said, Mr. Jackson, it was my fault, Your Honor. I did not contact Mr. Jackson and let him know about his arraignment trial. And he just let it go through in one ear, out the other.
What did he do? Throw it out of court?
No. Weakley County court system, the state of Tennessee, wanted to bury me. You know why? Because they thought that they had them a trophy.
Well, how long did you have to stay in jail?
I stayed in there long enough to attempt to commit suicide. I was going to hang myself with a bunch of sheets in my pod. And they sent me to Bolivar and had me checked out. And that's whenever I found out that I was diabetic. I didn't even know I was diabetic up until then. So there was actually a silver lining to that.
When did all this come
The
up?
year that my brother died, in year 2017, within 10 days, they come out there and arrested me. Within 20 days, I tried to commit suicide. And that was whenever I found out that I was a diabetic. Well, now, today, since my real diabetic doctor has worked on me and stuff,
Yeah.
I have quit taking my insulin of her orders. My A1C is 5.6. My blood range usually stays between 90 and 120.
Yeah.
My sugar level,
Yeah.
which is decent, good. And I've lost 120 pounds in about the past year and a half.
I know what day you pulled up out there.
I'm down to 240 now. I'm back down to 240 where I was before the state of Kentucky ever arrested me for listen to this, 2 non-threatening telephone calls in the span of a 90-day period. So in 90 days, once you call this outfit and once you call this person, you can't say it was telephone harassment in 90 days.
No.
Usually telephone harassment, usually it's 3 or 4 telephone calls a day, right?
Yeah.
And they couldn't have said that I threatened none of them because I didn't. It was a vindictive thing going on up in LBL, Land Between the Lakes.
Yeah.
And they basically went after it. They went all the way to Oklahoma to grab me up and drag me back from Oklahoma so I could stand in front of a rinky-dink judge called Judge Woodall in Trigg County, Kentucky. Trigg County, in a little town called Cadiz, Kentucky. And basically they ordered for me to go to the state facility to go get analyzed. And that's whenever the doctor, the first day he seen me, didn't even have time to interview me or find out any kind of remarks or any of my ideals or nothing.
Yeah.
First day he said, I think you're delusional and delirious and I'm going to order for you to be put on this drug. And I think they done it intentionally. They know that I had injuries. My profile is right there. You can go through any of my work and see where Mr. Jackson had this, and this happen, medically speaking to
Yeah.
him. And I think they've done it intentionally, wanting to torment my life to the degree that if you do start to go through enough pain, eventually it can actually drive you to a point of suicide. Did you know that? Because a human being can't stand but just so much pain. I actually had a cousin on my ex-wife's side that actually committed suicide because he had that crippling arthritis. Every freaking joint swelled up. Oh, he got to the point that he was just miserable, and they couldn't do nothing for him.
Well, just like these boys coming home from war, Afghanistan.
We're still losing over 20 a day, Bubba. Suicides.
Yeah.
And here my brother and I built the pole barn out there, and we had all the ambitions towards going to help our veterans. Actually had some cards made up from the Veterans Administration pertaining to suicide prevention.
Yeah.
And was passing these cards out. And I guess some people up there in Northwest Tennessee and Martin, Tennessee thought I was a freaking nut. Once more, they was still gunning towards trying to hook me towards me being a potential Timothy McVeigh or a Unabomber or some bad person. And guess what? Whenever I went out to Texas and I stayed 3 days and 3 nights at the Mount Carmel Waco 51-day standoff deal, and I done an interview within a 5-mile area, and then I went to Oklahoma and I found out that they had lied to their own citizens by not telling the whole truth about the Oklahoma bombing that killed 168 people. Now all that stuff's coming out, and I nailed it, Bubba. I nailed it. And that was in 2009. 2009, I said right there, I said, you people, you got the death of innocent blood on your hands, and the people up there in them cemeteries right now are crying out, wanting justice because you did not tell the whole truth to the people. And you know what I got out of it?
Nothing.
They put a bomb in the back end of my truck and activated it and blowed the windows out of my camper shell and then put me all over national news like I was another would-be Timothy McVeigh, just because I was studying the Timothy McVeigh ordeal that happened in Oklahoma. You know who started all that? Weakley County, the county that I'm from. In 2005, I was passing out Bible literature. It was about 2 o'clock at night. I was coming out of Kentucky. I handed this guy after filling up my gas, and I had to go in there and do something, get something. Anyways, I handed him some Bible literature, and I told him, I said, you know what? I said, there is so much stuff going on in my life right now. I said, I feel like that there's going to be an explosion of controversy happen, and I'm probably going to wind up on Channel 6 News. This was in 2005. You know what they done? They went all the way to Huntington. I was working for Jimmy Darnell and David Lloyd at the time in a body shop in Huntington. The Martin PD, not the county, the Martin PD drives 3 counties over or 2 counties over and walks into the work facility and said, "Are you Dennis Jackson?" I go, "Yeah." Turn around, you're under arrest for what? Falsifying files. Falsifying files? You know, whenever I first heard that remark, falsifying files, I thought, well, what have I done? You know, that sounds like an Internal Revenue Service charge or something.
Yeah.
You was bogus on something. You didn't tell the truth about something. Well, come to find out, in the state of Tennessee, you have the potential of being a homegrown terrorist if they can prove you have committed falsifying files, which basically means the same thing towards you pulling down a fire alarm, or you're in the middle of a theater watching a show, and all of a sudden, for giggles, you want to stand up and start hollering, "Fire, fire, fire," and start a panic, and everybody start running over one another, and a bunch of people gets hurt. Well, guess what? I wasn't in a theater. I didn't pull down a fire alarm either in a school or a hospital or wherever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those freaking idiots in 2005 started the ball rolling, and the next thing you know, in 2007, I'm passing out some more literature up in Kentucky, trying to explain to people that God had shown me that there was going to be massive electrical disturbances. Well, I started out down around Grand Rivers, Kentucky, around the dam, went from Grand Rivers, Calvert City, hit all them little churches between there and Paducah. Guess what I was greeted with whenever I got to Paducah? About 15 different officers with guns on me. They arrest me, take me to the county, take me to the city police, because that's where I was. I was arrested in the city, and I had no idea what the charges was. None. I'm in there, and all of a sudden this white-headed man comes in there, and you can tell by the way he dressed and everything, he was pretty high up the totem pole. He goes, "Do you have any idea what this is all about?" I said, "No, I wish that somebody would tell me." He said, "Well, do you recognize this piece of paper?" And I said, yeah, that's the very piece of paper I've been passing out all day to all these churches from here to Grand Rivers and up to Benton and Calvert City and up toward Paducah. He said, well, somebody listened or watched or read that material, and right now they've shut down the Kentucky Dam, and they're up there with the FBI looking for bombs with the bomb squad. They had this on WPSD News for shutting down the Kentucky Dam up there pretty close to Calvert City and Benton.
Because of you.
Because of me. Passing out literature that said, I was warning them and telling them that God had shown me that there was going to be electrical disturbances. I go, how did they get that I had threatened the dam? There's nothing on this paper, anything about a Kentucky dam. Well, they must have thought that you was going to create the electrical disturbance, Mr. Jackson. I go, thought? How in the hell can you be that stupid? They shut down the dam. They found out wasn't no bombs. But guess what? They still had their clinches in me. You know what they done? They took 2 state troopers, Kentucky state troopers, and drove me from Paducah to Mayfield, Kentucky, probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and woke up the doctors, done an emergency visit. Now I got to be interviewed by this psychiatrist. She goes through this line of freaking questionnaires. Do you do this? Do you do this? Do you have any dreams? Do you feel like going to kill somebody? Do you want to kill yourself? Et cetera, et cetera. And when at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, she said, Mr. Jackson, they need to let you go. You ain't done nothing wrong. Well, by this time, it's already 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they got to drive me from Mayfield back to Paducah, which is about a 45-minute drive. Whenever I got to Paducah, they dropped me off at a hotel. They did drop me off at a hotel, but who in the world's going to get a hotel and only stay in it for 2 or 3 hours knowing you're going to have to pay another day's rent? So I went across from the hotel, which was a cemetery over there, and laid on this guy's cemetery. I wrote his name down and everything, took chart toward what his rock looked like and everything. And whenever daybreak come up, I started walking because they had my truck impounded at Post 1. Post 1 is the state trooper office in between Paducah, Kentucky and Mayfield, Kentucky. If you've ever been to Paducah, that's how you go usually. Anyways, whenever I got up there, I did get lucky. I hitched a ride. A guy picked me up. Well, I had to go up there and wait for like 2 hours before anybody got to the office.
Yeah.
And then once I got in there, they said, we can't give you a truck. I go, why? I go, there wasn't no charges placed up on my life coming from a legal authority. I go, I'm not under any type of doctor's orders. I said, you people messed up. You need to give me back my truck. Well, come back, Mr. Jackson, in a couple hours, and I'll let you know if you can get your truck. Well, in the meantime, you know what they're doing to my truck? They're deciphering it. I couldn't tell you how many times the door panels has been pulled off. I couldn't tell you how many times that there's been mirrors or dogs sniffing in my truck and people getting up underneath it looking and seeing if I had anything explosive on my 2005 Toyota Tundra truck. And that's exactly what they was doing again. They was analyzing my truck again, giving them enough time to determine, well, they ain't got nothing in the truck. Not nothing that we found that's dangerous to the public. So whenever I come back, you know what they tell me? Well, we got good news and bad news. I go, okay, what's the good news? You can get your truck. I go, that's good. I can get my truck. Give me my keys so I can get out of here. We can't give you keys, Mr. Jackson, until you pay for the pound, which is $100 and something. I'm telling you, Bubba, they're dirty from the daylight is dark. And that happened in the year 2005, and it wasn't long after that till Shirley walked out of my life for the second time, because I'd married her twice. It wasn't long after that till Jimmy Darnell and David Lloyd was upset at me because it caused a flicker up there. Because
Well, you keep bringing that Jimmy Darnell.
Jimmy Darnell used to help collision specialist. He helped him for a year.
Yeah, I knew
He was
that
up there
name
he was up there as a body man for a year,
Yeah.
doing body work. That was
Then he
whenever
opened it up.
Bobby was working there. Bobby was working there at that time.
Well,
Bobby Mays was working
Yeah.
there at the time.
Well, Bobby's where? Indiana?
Pennsylvania, somewhere.
Somewhere.
I don't think Steve Hardy or Mr. Lights heard nothing from him in the past 2 or 3 years.
I ain't heard nothing from him since. Yes, I did. He left.
I think
And then
he's called back 2 or 3 different times.
Well, no, he come back.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, him and his wife come back,
Okay.
and he come by and visited. But see, Bobby had another place but he was renting that to his mama
Okay.
in a trailer.
Okay.
And something Bobby had to come back, something about that,
I got you.
And he run by the shop. And,
I got you.
hell, that's.
Did you see him?
Oh yeah.
Still look the same, blonde
Oh
headed?
yeah. Yeah.
Probably didn't age a pound.
No. Oh, about a year later.
But you know, he took his wife's deaths hard, didn't he? Melissa? Wasn't that her name, Melissa? Remember whenever she died?
His first wife.
His first wife.
Oh yeah.
He took that. What, she died? Didn't she have some kind of disease or something?
You know. I don't know.
I don't
Dan.
think it was an accident. I don't think it was a car accident.
I remember going over to the funeral.
I think she had some sort of cancer or something. Or something. I don't know. I may be mistaken about that. That's been a long, long time
Because I
ago.
went over to the graveyard with Steve and.
Well, the whole shop shut down for the funeral
Yeah.
in honor of one of his employees. That was another thing I wanted to tell you about my son. I may have done already told you. Whenever I got the telephone call at 3 o'clock that my son had been involved in a major accident, he was dead, from my first ex-wife in Memphis. She didn't even have the guts to call me herself.
It's about the mother of your son.
Mother of my son. She handed the phone to her husband, which is a Pakistani, because she left me over a bunch of foreigners pertaining to the college over in Martin, the foreign exchange student program. Yeah. She left me because of foreigners. Well, she didn't have the brass to get on the phone and say, our son is dead. So he calls me and says, your son is dead. Nicholas is dead. Well, with the day being so questionable, rather not somebody's telling the truth or they're pulling your leg or pranking, I said, let me talk to Vicky. Because I wanted to verify.
Yeah.
And of course, before she ever got to the phone, I know he was gone.
Yeah.
You could tell by the crying and what was going on.
Yeah.
But I contacted his secretary at 4 o'clock. First time I called, they didn't get no answer. Second time I called, I thought, well, I could leave this on a voicemail. I'll just leave a voicemail. Well, then the secretary picked up, and I explained it to her what happened. Did you know that those two brothers at the time was in southern Illinois on some sort of a hunting adventure or something? They're the ones that owns that company down there, Cagle Brothers in Huntsville, Alabama. That's where my son was working for at the time. Did you know that they contacted me at 6 o'clock on the nose? And we started talking about all that. And first thing I asked him, I said, "Well, did he have life insurance with the company?" They go, "We don't know. We don't piddle around in our employees' business, pretending rather not they file for insurance or not." And about a few hours later, I found out that he didn't have no insurance, but it didn't matter. They was going to pay for his body to be brought back from Oklahoma back to Memphis, and they was paying all the expenses pertaining to his funeral. And that says something about a company that'll do that, Bubba.
Oh,
You know why it says something about a company that'll do that? Because most of them won't do that, number one. And number two, my son, for the first time, got a feather up his tail that somebody had proposed a proposal to him that if he would go out to Phoenix, Arizona and pick up a concrete truck and bring it back to Hornwell, Mississippi, that they'd pay him $20,000. And he took them up on the offer. And if it had been me and you just starting out a family down in Huntsville, Alabama, we'd probably done the same thing.
Why, yeah.
Well, the guys know my son's potential, and they said, Nicholas, if you're going to do something like that, you just need to go ahead and become independent towards getting your own tax-exempt number. That way, whatever expenses that you use at the end of the year, you can deduct all this stuff towards filling out the loan for him. And it made sense to him. He just got through making his first ever business card. First ever business card. Of course, he got on an airplane. Bubba, I was in contact with my son from the time that he got on the airplane, from the time he had a delay over in Denver, Colorado. I called him immediately as soon as he got off the airplane. I contacted him about the truck. I said, well, how's the truck look? He said, it's 2014. He said it was rented out to so-and-so and so-and-so. I said, well, have you checked everything? Is it roadworthy? Yeah, everything works. I said, what about the tires? Tires look, oh yeah, they're name brand tires. He said, they're good tires. So he knew what he was looking for as far as making sure that truck was safe to get on the road. But what he didn't put under consideration was the risk. Those trucks are not made to travel across country. They're made to travel in whatever local area that you're in.
Yeah.
The reason why is because the way that they're geared up. You cannot go no faster than 65 mile an hour down a steep bank because of the way that they're geared up. They won't go no further, no faster than 65 at the very top speed. And
Sound
from
like
here,
they had a governor on them.
well, something I don't know, but the way they're geared up. Anyways, it took him almost 5.5 hours to go from Phoenix to Flagstaff, and he said at any given day you can make it in 2.5 to 3 hours in a car. Of course, from the time you leave Phoenix, you're steadily going uphill, going to Flagstaff. Flagstaff is up there where the Grand Canyon is. That's all high country up there. So I knew that the truck was stable, and I knew the truck was this, and I said, "Well, what kind of gas might you get?" He said, "I'm getting about 3.5 miles a gallon." Truck weighs 55,000 pounds, empty,
Damn.
and that's one of the smaller ones. He was adjusted towards working on some of them that had as many as 9 axles on them up there in Denver, Colorado, when he was working for Brunions and Bone. He could unload with a 250-foot boom, 12 full-size concrete trucks in an hour in his boom and put the concrete anywhere they wanted it. While one truck was pulling out, another one was backing up. While one truck was finishing up, another one was backing up on one side. He could unload 12 trucks in an hour. That's pushing out some concrete, Bubba. Huh?
You ain't lying.
And all them hydraulics in that
Yeah.
boom, it goes up and down,
Yeah.
and gets to where the destiny going.
Yeah.
So he was top notch. He was top notch in the surveillance. He was top notch in special pertaining to CDL license. He was top notch pertaining to safety issues. He was top notch pertaining to being a manager. He was a branch manager up there. He wasn't a concrete guy no more. And that may have been one of the reasons why he got in trouble. Is because he hadn't been driving them concrete trucks.
Yeah.
He'd been pushing a pencil for the past 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That could have had something to do with the wreck, or it could have had something to do with the brakes. Because whenever you're checking something like that out, you can't actually take the hub and the wheel off and go in there and figure out whether or not they've replaced the brakes or whether or not the brakes is set at a certain particular space. Because all that stuff's supposed to be inspected every so often, because that's big equipment out there on the road that can cause havoc. And they're supposed to put a sticker on the door to make sure they got inspected. I don't even know that the truck had been inspected properly. I still hadn't gotten the Oklahoma State Trooper complier yet towards what that they said happened. I hadn't got the forensic pertaining to whether or not he had anything in his blood, whether or not he was talking on the telephone, whether or not he was distracted, whether or not he was asleep. I don't know. You know why? Because I'm dealing with a lady friend that's from Russia originally, that become a Ukrainian, and I don't know what she expects out of me. I can't communicate.
You're talking about his wife.
I'm talking about his wife. I can't communicate with her. I can't communicate with her like I should. And they've left me out of the loop on everything. They didn't give me any kind of say-so. What color you want the casket? You being the father. They didn't let me out of the loop towards, well, do you want him to wear a suit? What color suit do you want him to wear? Do you want him to wear a tie, or do you not want him to wear a tie? They have left me out of the loop on everything. Everything. And I don't think that's right neither, do you? With me being the father? Because me and Nicholas had a close relationship. You remember whenever he come down there to shop a time or two?
Yeah.
He come down there working on some big old panel wagon truck or something. He was down there sanding and stuff. He didn't work down there maybe 2 or 3 hours, but he worked down there long enough to become acquainted with everybody.
Yeah.
And plus, he'd come in every now and then and just say, "Hello, Dad."
Yeah.
You know. And I'm gonna tell you something. It floored me. But I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out what the state trooper's office is, because I guarantee you, with there being a death involved, they got to investigate that from head to toe, and they'll be able to tell you whether or not the brakes failed, whether or not he braked too late. They'll be able to tell you by hooking up to the little tattletale thing, whether or not they'll be able to tell you the G-forces that he was pulling whenever he first hit the brakes versus him actually running into the first vehicle. He ran into a Silverado, bounced it off like a toy, but the second one he hit, hit the back end of a semi. and that thing weighed about 90,000 pounds filled full, and with his 55,000 pounds. But this is the part that he didn't assess right. The type of truck that he was driving did not have a front end.
It was a snub nose.
It was a snub nose. And of course, if you ever get in an altercation like that, guess what? You're the first one at the scene of the accident.
Oh yeah, them snub nose.
You're the first one at the scene of the accident. You would think some engineer, somebody would have engineered something, even if it wasn't nothing but maybe a piece of angle iron or big heavy piece of something that started out welding it up on the back part of all the other metal major angle iron, and maybe put like a barrier up there around that front end, to where if you did get engaged in an accident like that it wouldn't be so devastating.
Yeah, like those things. What they call them? They put on front of these trucks now.
Oh, they got.
Oh hell, we used to deal with them at Collision Special.
They got all kinds of
roll
stuff.
bars. And,
Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff like that they can use to be able to help protect the driver.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, guess what? Not only didn't nobody get killed, but according to the state trooper that I talked to the day after, didn't nobody get injured to the degree of having to go to the hospital. Because he hit two more other vehicles after he hit the 18-wheeler. Of course, I'm pretty sure he probably bounced it probably 15 or 20 foot forward. And ain't no telling whoever he hit in front of him.
Right.
Because basically all the traffic had come to a standstill. And then he had enough momentum going that he took out about 75 foot of a bridge railing. And that requires a great deal of momentum to do that.
Yeah.
After you get through hitting the first truck, a Silverado, then you hit the semi, and then you total out two more other vehicles, and then you take out almost 100 foot of bridge railing. I'm pretty sure, Bubba, he probably felt it. He probably knowed he hit that first vehicle.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the brakes failed. What they said, he went over a curvature. They call it an arch, or they call it something else.
Yeah.
Come to find out, there was like two accidents before that happened like a day or two before that in the very same spot, because the traffic was being backed up about 2.5, 3 miles. He had just got through getting into the construction zone, going from a 75 to a 70. And of course, they go in 5 mile an hour intervals, so many feet. But whoever was handling that project did not back up the signs, did not have state troopers with blue lights going. That way it could have alerted everybody of letting them know, hey, we got a problem up here. This isn't just some construction project going on. We actually got traffic backed up almost freaking 3 miles.
Right.
And come to find out, I don't know if it's truthful or not, but according to the guy that I talked to later, within hours after they cleaned up the mess, there was a drunk that come up through there and killed 2 more other people in the very same spot. Now, you know good and well if that's going on, they cannot be doing something right at that particular area, doing construction on I-40.
Exactly.
Right around the Shawnee area. Basically, it was almost like it was a suicide mission.
When did all this happen?
2 months ago. 21st of September.
No.
No, 21st of August. August. We buried him September the 2nd, the day after Labor Day. Yep.
So all this is still in investigation?
I don't know that it is. I haven't gummed up enough creativity about myself to call him yet, but I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to sit down and find out what really happened, because if I'm relying upon my ex-wife to tell me, or if I'm relying upon his wife that's now
Russian and
what do they call a wife that her husband gets killed?
widow.
A widow. If I'm dependent upon the widow to let me know anything, I'll be waiting until hell freezes over, Bubba.
Well, she can't speak English, can she?
Yes, she can. She can. She's been in the States now about 15 years. She wound up marrying somebody in the Army. I guess she must have met him over there or something, and she come over here and got her paperwork, and she actually got a girl, almost 18 years old, by her first husband. So she ain't new to our customs over here and the way that we handle things and our laws and stuff. But then again, she ain't really all that familiar with them neither, with her being from that country. Yeah. So, I've been trying to give her some leadway towards maybe she'll come around. Maybe she'll come around. I don't think she's going to come around. because since we buried him, basically I ain't had no contact with her other than me driving down there, and I had to drive down there in me not giving her a heads up that I was coming down there because she'd already done put a block on my line. Me not being able to communicate with her. Well, how you gonna communicate if you're putting blocks on your line? I actually had to contact a neighbor to contact their neighbor, which was her,
Yeah.
and tell her, hey, Dennis is out here. Nicholas's dad would be able to like to see the granddaughter. Because by law, I don't know if she knows this or not, by law, the grandparents has rights to be able to see the grandkids.
Yeah.
She cannot prevent from me seeing my own granddaughter.
Well, that's true.
And I hope that she don't have an ideal towards leaving from here and going back to Ukraine. If that be the case, I don't need to have nothing to do with her anyway. Because if she's that nutty to go back into a bomb-stricken area like Ukraine,
Yeah.
I don't want to have nothing to do with her
How
anyway.
old's your granddaughter?
Huh?
How old is your granddaughter?
2.5 years old.
Just a little one.
She's not old enough for all this to register
Oh,
like
no,
it should.
No,
She knowed it
won't-
happened, but she won't identify it happening and
until
take it
somebody tells her.
into the full meaning until probably she's about 10, I figure.
Yeah.
About 8, 10.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it won't come up. You know, just.
Well, it will come up.
Oh yeah.
She,
it's gonna-
they're going to be inquisitive. They're going to ask questions. Where's my real dad? Why didn't my dad?
Yeah.
And that's whenever she's going to sit down and explain to her who the real dad was or me, one or the other.
Yeah.
Either or. I mean, all we can do to anybody that dies like that is speak well of them after they're gone,
Well, true.
as far as their legacy.
Yeah.
And he left a good legacy. He'd already had a house over in Millington that his mother was renting out for $1,200 a month. And plus he bought this other house over there in Huntsville, Alabama, basically a gated community. It cost them $380,000 for this house. And their payment was running $3,000 a month. Well, you know good and well she ain't going to be able to come up with that payment.
No.
Unless there was a life insurance policy that I wasn't aware of, that supposedly wasn't. But I told her, I said, even though Nicholas was attempting to do that project on his own, towards him being independent, in reality, he really didn't fulfill the obligation.
Yeah.
So you can't really say that he was independent working on his own because he didn't fulfill the contract. I said, if anything, what you got to worry about is those people down there in Mississippi coming back at you and saying, hey, we want our $20,000 back because we never did get our product back. We never did, the contract never was fulfilled.
Yeah.
They could actually be bullheaded like that and do that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they will, but they could.
No.
But I tried to tell her, I said, this should be claimed under a workman's comp clause of survival rights. I said, first of all, that granddaughter, she should be able to draw until she's 18, maybe even longer than that, as long as she's in school. And I know she'd be able to draw as long as she's in college, probably up until she's 21, off of my son's Social Security. And if he was making that kind of money, you know good and well, she could probably draw at least $1,800 to $2,000, maybe even up to $3,000 a month on just the child alone.
Well, now the law is, unless they've changed it here, the law changed to age 26 that she could draw
Off of his Social Security.
Yeah.
Whatever money that he was poking into the ante, she can draw it now.
Till she's 26, as long as she's in school.
Right, as long as she's in school.
But once she gets out of college or whatever,
Right.
that's it.
I didn't know they've upped the ante to 26.
As far as I know, they did.
But according to her, what little bit of information that I got out of her, I don't know if it's true. First of all, they didn't have no homeowner's insurance. Neither one of them had a life insurance policy. Well, you know, she'd have been set
Oh yeah.
if they'd have been paying about $40 or $50 a month for either one of them towards a life insurance policy on a $380,000 loan. I'm really surprised that they didn't demand that. Now, older people like me and you, they're not gonna let us have life insurance policy because they look at us towards us being high risk. But with them being in their 30s at the time when they took out the loan, or the low 40s, I mean, unless they had a lot of money to put down, unless she had some money, or unless he took that other house over here in Millington and put it down for collateral or something, I doubt if they're going to loan you money like that without demanding either collateral or money up front or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And you'd have thought that they would have demanded for life insurance
Yeah.
in case something happened to them.
Right.
According to her, they didn't have a life insurance policy on the actual note. But according to her, she'd done already talked to the construction people, which was called W&W out of Hornwall, Mississippi, basically a finishing company construction. They did have insurance. They did have uppity up because I drove down there and made sure that I looked at the company and said, you know what, this is a strong company. I think they had something like 20 employees. Well, you know good and well if they got over 4 or 5 employees, regardless of what state you're in, you have to have workman's comp insurance.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be legitimate
Yeah.
out there. So they did have insurance. Rather not there'll be a wrongful death suit. I don't know. The insurance company, I'm pretty sure, on that side, will probably have to make some sort of an offer. And I'm thinking that the way they'll look at that is how much money was he worth during the time that he died, and how much money could have he continued to been valued at if he would have stayed working at that age up until he was ready to retire.
65.
And that should give them some sort of ballpark idea towards how they're going to settle with her, if they're going to do it voluntarily, if she's smart enough to work the numbers game. Because I guarantee you, if you take whatever that they offer on the front end, you're going to get screwed.
Oh, yeah.
And I done told her, I said, what you need to do, first thing you need to do is hire an attorney.
Yeah.
You need to get an attorney on this.
Yeah.
And make sure that you don't get screwed over. And then I started saying, besides that, you got a survival's benefit, right, coming out of workman's comp out of the state of Mississippi, because that's where the company was from, state of Mississippi. She said, no, he can't do that. I said, why? Because he was independent. I go, it doesn't matter if he was independent or not. He was still working primarily for that company. Because I guarantee you, if you got a general contractor, and he's got electricians over here, plumbers, he's got welders over here, he's got the mainframe people, he's got probably 12 or 15 subcontractors. At the end of the day, if somebody gets killed on that job, they're going to first go to the subcontractor. But at the end of the day, it goes right back to the general contractor. It's going to be their fault.
That's right.
Unless they were smart enough to make the subcontractor bosses sign an affidavit to say, hey, you're responsible for your own insurance, and we're not responsible for any insurance in case any of your employees get hurt.
Right.
And who's going to sign a document like that?
Nobody.
And probably more than likely, who's going to even think of doing something like that? Because, don't nobody plan to die. Do they? Don't nobody plan to die. But it's sure enough put me in a bind towards me not knowing the benefit of the grandchild. I don't know whether or not she's going to come out on top. I don't know if the house is going to be okay down there, or if she's going to have to put it up for sale, or if she's going to have to declare bankruptcy, or if she's going to wind up going back to Memphis. She done told me that she hates Memphis. She ain't going back to Memphis. Matter of fact, that was one of the reasons why that my son wanted to get out of Memphis, because Memphis had become so wicked.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know the Danny Thomas Boulevard had become so rank, rough. I mean, you drive down through Danny Thomas Boulevard and you have to stop at several red lights right there where the PB Hotel and all that stuff is. My God, some of them places, Bubba, I actually was leery of stopping and looking around. This was in the daytime, so you can only imagine what I would be thinking at night. Yeah. My God, I'm probably going to get jumped. Somebody going to throw a gun in front of my face and try to hold me up.
Hell, they would. Trump done sent the National Guard down there.
They need to be sent down there.
Yeah, he done got them down there.
They need to be sent down there.
Yeah, they've been there since, last week?
But it leaves me hanging to the degree that I don't know what's going to happen to my granddaughter. And it just puts that much more stress and aggravation into my life. Besides that, it's really disrespectful in keeping me out of the loop. Don't you think? Well, I mean, if something happened to one of your kids and you was that close to them, you would expect a little gratitude, wouldn't you?
Lord, yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough to take it on the cheek pertaining to the loss.
Yeah.
Now I've got a granddaughter. I've got blood. I got blood in this game.
Exactly. You and your first wife don't talk, get along, or...
You know, Bubba, out of all things, she contacted me about 2 weeks before he died, before he got involved in that accident. Out of the blue, she don't never call. We probably hadn't spoken to one another in several years. It's not that we're enemies. We just don't have nothing in common to talk about no more.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, she calls me up one day. all concerned about her son. What's going to happen to my son? What's going to happen to his wife? What's going to happen to the granddaughter? If emergency comes up, like if we're ever involved in a nuclear war or something goes wrong haywire, pretending all this stuff going on. And I said, calm down, calm down. We've already done discussed this. I go, he's already got a plan. He's going to come out here at the farm in Weakley County, and we've already got a game plan toward what we're going to do. So I tried to tell her everything's all right.
Yeah.
We've already covered
Yeah.
the bases on this. That was my warning. That was my warning. Whenever she had a sick feeling and she contacted me thinking that something was up about her son,
Yeah.
she was being warned ahead of time.
Ahead of time.
That mother instinct. And
Yeah.
and I'll guarantee you it probably hadn't even crossed her mind about that conversation that she had with me. I can prove it on my phone. How long we talked was, I think, 35 minutes, and it was very odd for us to talk that long, especially the subject matter
yeah.
that we was talking about.
Yeah.
But that was her warning. That was my warning too as well. Matter of fact, whenever he first told me about this on tour thing, I got a gut feeling, and I said, Nicholas, what's going to happen if something happens to you? You break down on the road. I said, I can't come and get you. He goes, I can't. He goes, don't worry about it, Dad. He said, I won't need you. He said, if I have to, I just ditch it to the side and I'll get a freaking bus ticket and come home. I said, okay.
How old was Nicholas?
He was 46.
46.
Yes. But I had that gut feeling something was wrong. And you know what I was focusing it upon? The airplane incidences. Aviation.
Yeah.
This year we've had so many different
Lord.
aviation incidences all over the freaking world, especially here in America. And I thought to myself, you know what? I really need to monitor this situation and make sure he gets on the airplane okay and gets off the airplane
Well,
okay.
they had one today.
I don't doubt it.
Uh,
Didn't two guys get killed the other day? The
Yeah.
plane got off the runway or something and hit a car and killed two of them.
yeah, but they had one yesterday or something. But somehow I missed if they died or they made it. But they had to land in a field or something.
They're happening all over. You know what's happening?
Twin engine
You know what's happening? And my son also recognized this. It's got to do with the microwaves. It's got to do with so many microwaves that's going on out there. So many different signals are happening right now on different levels. You got, high frequency, low frequency. Matter of fact, it hadn't been, 10 years, maybe something like that, whenever we had to give up on our free airwaves on our antenna because the Army needed that particular airwave. And now you can still get the free waves, but you got to get a box to be able to translate it over to your TV.
Yeah.
Well, they needed that because it was compacted, because it was too compacted out there. I guarantee you, but between shortwave radio, regular radio, satellite, I could go down a list towards how many frequencies. If me and you could see right now and see all the different signals that's being through our, and that's what's killing the bees. It's probably what's giving us cancer, making everybody get sick. And I guarantee you it's affecting the GPS. Did you know that I had went 1 foot over where I was supposed to turn? And whenever you got your GPS on your phone, it'll tell you turn left, turn left, turn left 500 feet or 100 feet, turn left, turn left. All right, I went over 1 foot. You know what the first thing it said? Go down quarter of a mile and do a U-turn and come back.
Around.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just barely stopped, just barely passed the red light, went over just a little bit, and now the UPS is telling me, hey, you need to go on down the road, turn around, come back, and then turn down this road. I hadn't gone down that. So it's missing a good 4 or 5 foot. And my son and I recognized this towards the GPS because a lot of times he said he would pull up on a job site and the GPS would be telling him, hey, the truck's over here, and the truck wouldn't be over there. The truck would be over here. So if the GPS is missing it that much on vertical distance, do you not think that it could be causing on horizontal distances pertaining to the depth or the height of what plane, just like whenever that helicopter was flying? I guarantee you their readings probably said one thing and they thought that they was in the good,
Yeah.
but the whole time they was in direct flight path of that other freaking plane that come up through there and plowed into them.
Oh yeah.
So
You know,
it's instrument panel alterations or manipulations that's happening right now, and I guarantee you, the professionals know this, but they're not going to reveal it to us.
You know,
They're just going to continue to let these freaking airplane wrecks happen and continue to let the GPS lie to us and tell us this and tell us that. I actually had the GPS tell me to go all the way. I was in Camden and I need to go to a bank, and I asked him where's the closest bank. He said Huntington, and I drove all the way to Huntington. Wasn't no bank. Wasn't the bank that I was looking for.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
lied to me. And I've caught it doing that now several times, Bubba. And if you're out there on the road like a truck driver, I guarantee you probably see it a lot. Because my son noticed it on construction sites. He'd pull up at a truck site, he'd want to know where's my unit at?
Yeah.
And he'd be saying it's right here. No, it ain't there. Where's it at? Come to find out, it's across the road. Or the guy hadn't made it to the job site yet. He was around the corner coming this way. Or he was on the other side of the job site. Wasn't over here.
Yeah.
So it's lying. And how come the media ain't talking about this? How come our governments aren't putting a red flag to this, Bubba? Besides that, I think it's very, very unprofessional coming from AT&T or Singular or Verizon or whoever that you got, whatever carrier you got, towards allowing for us to be harassed sometimes 10, 12, 15 times a day, 20 times a day. My telephone will ring. And it'll say potential spam sometimes, and sometimes it'll just ring. I'll answer it, and I guarantee you, if you don't even so much as breathe into the talking device and just let it sit there, within a matter of seconds, it'll unplug itself and turn itself off and hang up.
I get them old spam thing.
They claim it's being done randomly through AI, pertaining to the computer. Well, how come somebody can't stop that?
That's right.
We're being harassed.
You know, somebody.
We're paying for this service, and sometimes I get so frustrated because my telephone keeps continually distracting me, to the point that, hey, guess what? My son tried to contact me about 12 or 13 minutes before he had the accident, and I don't think my phone either ever rung, or if it did ring, I didn't hear it ring. But it could have been a blessing in disguise, because most of the time whenever we talked at least for 12 or 15 minutes. And it would have been a possibility that I'd have been talking to him during the time that he had the accident,
Yeah.
and then I'd have felt guilty about him dying because I had him on the phone being distracted.
Where's that? Hell, I got a phone call yesterday. I'm trying to find it. And what the?
It's-
and I meant the
my-
area code was 212.
My point being, first of all, they shouldn't allow for this to occur. I realize it can't nobody stop it. It's not against the law to call somebody's number. I realize that, but it's marketing schemes towards trying to corner us. It's basically con artists and trying to talk us into doing stuff.
Yeah.
They're wanting to know, if you ever give them any information at all, or if you ever click on something, that's it. They'll hand you to the devil goes to hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's schemes.
Yeah.
It's scams going on. And how come our government can't stop that? If we have people, this is another thing. If we have investigation bureaus working through the major ABCs, FBI, TBI, CIA, whoever, and they can detect your activity on the phone, regardless whether you're texting or you're talking, they can go all the way back whenever you first opened up the service on that particular service.
Yeah.
But yet now, January the 6th, they can't find none of the conversations that was being talked about pertaining to Homeland Security Secret Service whenever all that rioting was going on up there at the Capitol. You can't tell me that this isn't a bought-in thing going on with the major telephone industries. And I'm going to tell you something else. In 2006, I was in Wilson Chevrolet Garage in St. Augustine, Florida, working, and me and a Secret Service agent wasn't seeing eye to eye, and all of a sudden he calls me up, and I didn't answer the phone, and he left a message on my voice recorder, basically talking to me like I was a dog and telling me that he has the power to get on an airplane. He can be down there in less than 45 minutes, and basically threatening me.
Yeah.
Well, I let everybody in the shop listen to it. But like a dummy, I didn't take another recorder and record the recording on my recorder. And guess what? Before that afternoon was over with, it disappeared. And you know as well as I do, your recordings isn't supposed to disappear unless you cause them to disappear. You got to be the one to press the button and say delete.
Yeah.
They was all gone.
Well, you talking about them GPS? I don't use none of that crap. If I get ready to go somewhere, and in other words, I don't go nowhere.
I'm not saying that they're not an advantage, because in the past few years, me going to different places, the computer
I don't go
computer service has really helped me out towards telling me to turn down this road, go over here, do this, do that, where this place of business is, where this is. And in that aspect, you can't beat it. I mean, I guarantee you, if you want to call, let's say, McDonald's in Southern Jackson, and you don't know their telephone number, all you got to do is tell Google, hey, Google, call South Jackson McDonald's. And they'll give you the number, and all you got to do is mash enter or hit go for it, and you'll be right there talking to them. Or Lowe's or Walmart's or whoever, you know what I'm saying? So it's good in that fashion. Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, whenever it comes to the accuracy of it, it's failing us.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
It's failing us.
Yeah. I never have liked
And it's failing air traffic controllers. It's failing critical people that depends upon the accuracy of that, right down to the square inch.
Oh, my son and daughter.
Right down to the square inch. And you're going to tell somebody, oh, you're in a good flight path here, and the whole time you're not. Somebody needs to do some damn tweaking, or find out what's really going on with these major telephone industries. And besides that, if they can dissect an individual that has just got through killing somebody, like the guy that killed Charlie Kirk on live TV, it blowed half his freaking neck off.
Yeah.
They found out everything about that guy within 24 hours. Well, the reason why that they done it so quickly was because one of his
friends,
one of his loved ones, I think it was a family member, turned him in.
Yeah.
But if they can go back and dissect every little thing that he has said and done, either on the telephone or in texting, why couldn't they have found out what Secret Service was saying to one another the day of January the 6th? I'm going to tell you why. They don't want to know.
Yeah.
Just like the major explosion that happened with the Oklahoma bombing, they knew that was more involved other than a Ryder truck filled full of freaking cow manure. They knew it as well as they knew their own names. I'm talking about the city council people in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They knew it, but they didn't expose it. The reason why I know that they knew it is because I talked to one of the investigators that was assigned within 48 hours after that explosion happened. There was 4 of them from different locations. They all merged down there and started analyzing stuff. They wasn't to compare none of their records until 30 days. After 30 days, they all was supposed to come and sit in this room and expose their findings, and all 4 of them come up with the exact same theory. Not only did they think there was bomb number 1 pertaining to the Ryder truck, not only did they think that there was a bomb number 2 of a bomb being planted inside the Oklahoma Federal Building, the Memorial Building, but they thought it was a possibility that there was a bomb number 3 because of all the extensive damage that happened. Now, out of 4 people that comes up in a 30-day study, the same exact everything, how come they didn't expose that to the victims and the victims' families pertaining to everything? Did they think it was going to make it too complex or something? Or did they have something to hide, knowing good and well that there was somebody else involved in that? And they keep talking about a third man. No, it ain't a third man. You're talking about some federal agencies that brought in some explosions into that building, Bubba, that shouldn't have never been put into that building. Because a building like that's got open population plus a daycare center, you're not supposed to store explosions or something like that. That's the reason why they got special facilities that stores that stuff. That's just like at Milan Arsenal. Whenever they're making all that stuff and they have an accident, it's supposed to be in a pod to keep it confined to where it's not going to affect the whole freaking community.
Is that factory still going?
Where?
Milan Arsenal.
No, Milan Arsenal shut down, but there are certain elements of it that there's still federal people working. I don't know what they're doing. They may not be doing nothing but
I thought
doing
it shut down.
computer work, but they're no longer on the assembly line making stuff.
Yeah.
Like that factory was over in Middle Tennessee.
I know Kilgore down there going to tune. You know, they make flares and stuff.
And every
on
now and then
military.
you'll hear a big boom over there, won't you? A big boom, especially where you're living out here. You can hear it down that way.
Yeah. You know, I ain't heard one in a while.
But also, when we was out there at Collision Specialists, we was right there next to that steel mill.
Oh, yeah, down the road.
Every now and then, they would have a bad flare up over there with something going on.
Yeah. The people that owns this, her cousin, Evelyn's cousin, Onesie, her boy worked there. One of her sons worked there. And
Sometimes they have deaths. Sometimes they have
Well, he
fatalities out
died.
there. Yeah,
Onesie's boy died.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, that was back.
You take all that hot lava. If that hot lava ever hits you, it's going to go right through you. I don't care if it's an arm, a leg. I don't care if
Oh,
it's a chest. It's going to go right through you.
Oh, yeah, to kill you.
It's like, what is it, like 6,000 degrees or something like that? It's
I don't know
unbelievable
what it
hot.
is, but you following that.
It's
that's it.
it's well over 2,000 degrees.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's just
Oh,
sitting there
yeah.
glowing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have special material just to hold it in a cup.
Yeah.
Keep the cup from melting. But all that stuff's dangerous. But my point being is this: I nailed it, Bubba, in 2009. Whenever I told them that the blood of the innocents was up on the authorities out there because their blood was crying out of justice, and instead of me being rewarded for it, I got punished for it. Not only did I get punished for it from them, but that went spread abroad to the degree that affected my career, to the degree that I had to take an early retirement. I had to take an early retirement because it didn't matter how I filled out my
Yeah.
app. Once they got online, they got to typing up my name. All kinds of stuff started coming up. And of course, if you're a business person, you don't know if what you're watching or looking or listening to or reading, whether or not it's accurate or not.
Yeah.
So you're not going to take the risk. Well, guess what?
What?
That just knocked me in the head for a job. It got to the point the only person that I could go to work for was that back alley Julio that I didn't know from 1 week to another whether or not I was going to get paid
Right.
or my toolbox would still be there come Monday.
Yeah. Have you still got all your tools?
Every bit of them.
You still got them.
Every one of them. But I haven't hit not one lick at a finger until just recently. Just recently, I've started getting back involved toward doing mechanic work and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that you learn the rest of your life. You ain't going to get away from it. But as far as me doing it for the public, no.
No.
Not, especially in the state of Tennessee. No.
No.
No. Besides that, I told Steve, I said, Steve, it wouldn't be favorable to you if I come down here and started being a body man. I said, as many different outfits that I've worked for, as many different states, I said, I probably know more about this business than you do. And he looked at me and said, you're probably right. I said, I know I am.
Hell, every time I go over, he ain't never there.
I know I am. I know what the insurance requires and why the insurance requires what. You're supposed to go down A, B, and C, until you even think about going and calling up and getting a new part. You got to go and try to find a used part. If you can't find a used part, then you try to find an LKQ part. If you can't find an LKQ part, there's no other body around, well, then you go for the new part.
Oh, yeah.
But if you don't do it in that sequence to be able to prove your steps, they'll question whether or not you're trying to bamboozle them.
And some of them damn insurance companies, when I was working now, you had
Wanted you to do their job for them by going out and writing a detailed estimate whether or not the vehicle was going to knock in the head or not to begin with. That's their freaking adjuster's jobs.
That's right. And talking about that used parts, you had to call 3 salvage yards. And it got where you had to list the damn salvage yards.
Absolutely. Have it documented. You had to document the
call.
time, the date, everything, and who you talked to.
Yeah, because they would call them
Yes, sir.
to make sure.
To validate whether or not this body shop over here, this estimator, actually contacted that salvage yard
yard,
to find out whether or not they had a part available or not.
Yeah, you had to call 3, and you had to document it in your notes.
Yes. Everything. But you know what? Steve Hardy taught me a lot whenever I left Milan Body Shop. That was basically just a typical independent body man or body shop. Whenever I went to Jackson, he taught me a lot because within the first 6 months, I got to watching him towards how that he would document everything: cigarette burn, a ding over here, a scratch over here. He would take pictures of it, document all that stuff. And I said, you know what? That's a smart man right there, because the public has gotten to the point, Bubba. It used to be that you gave people the benefit of the doubt back 40, 50 years ago that they was going to be an honest individual and they was going to be honest and treat you honestly. And there would be like 1 out of 10 that you had to be concerned about. It's not that way no more. 9 out of 10 now will beat you out of $1 if they can get it. They'll lie to you and they'll cheat on you and they'll do you wrong.
That's right.
And now there may be one honest person out there that will stand true to their word or stand true towards not wanting to beat you up or take advantage of you.
That's right.
That's how bad it's gotten. The public has gotten so manipulative. You can't believe nothing they say, or they're so demanding, and they expect. You know, we live in a society. It's like a demanding society, and you know, I think a lot had to do with that pertaining to the fast food market that come over here. Because I remember whenever I was about 10 years old, Kentucky Fried Chicken coming to Union City. And before then, we didn't even know what fast food was. I guess Kentucky Fried Chicken was one of the first ones in town.
Oh, yeah, I was a kid.
We went in and ordered a family of 6 and sat down, and less than 5 minutes later, we was eating chicken, fried potatoes and gravy, green beans, the whole enchilada. If that would have been Mama, it would have taken her at least 2 hours to prepare that meal.
Oh, yeah.
2 hours
Yeah.
to have fixed it right.
Yeah.
And whenever they come out there with that bucket of chicken, I almost fainted. I said, you got to be kidding me. How did they do that quick?
Damn deep fryers.
Well, they got everything. I mean, they have an assembly line. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got all that stuff figured out, how long it's going to take, right down to the second. Right down to the second. Right down to the temperature. If the temperature don't hit exactly 175, it's not ready yet.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They got it down to a science.
Oh, yeah.
2 pickles, one piece of lettuce, 2 tomatoes, and the sesame seeds bun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got it down to an assembly.
Oh, yeah.
Assembly.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of that had to do with spoiling our society over here to the degree that now it's a demanding society. And if they don't get it whenever they think that they should get it, don't think that they won't let you know about it. If you're holding their car and they have to pay an extra day of rental, they're going to be calling you up, Bubba, wondering what the hell's going on here.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Or is the company going to pay for this extra money that now, because y'all didn't get this vehicle out whenever you promised me it was going to get out, are y'all going to pay the difference? They're demanding. I'm telling you, the public is demanding.
You know how much it costs to rent a car now?
It used to cost about $35, $40 a day whenever I got out of the industry, give or take about 10 years ago. Huh?
Me too. That's what it costs.
You know what it costs now? I have no idea.
$120 a day.
So it's quadrupled.
$120 a day. Now what? All right, for example.
And that's providing you got a good driving record and you got insurance.
Yeah.
You got to meet the right criteria
And
to
you
even
got
get
a
it.
damn credit card.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
we don't take cash.
No, or debit cards, you know.
Yeah.
All right, for example.
Have you ever been denied paying cash?
Uh-uh.
I had. Up there in Nashville, when I was up there in 2005, I was going to go to a hotel and get a hotel up there. And they said, we do not take cash. I go, why don't you take cash? Well, we live in a high crime area and everybody's going to a cashless society. That was 20 years ago. Ain't no telling how many of them do it today. You got to have cash to go in and buy stuff now. And not only that, but have you noticed this? They charge you a surplus charge. And if you bring that item back, you got to pay for restocking fees now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
They get you coming and going, don't they, Bubba?
Yeah, they do.
The consumer don't stand a chance, does he?
Nope. What I'm getting at, my truck insurance. All right, on my insurance policy, I got rental. In case I was wrecked. Paid me $50 a day.
Hadn't changed it. You couldn't get a $50 a day car if you wanted to, could you? You'd be lucky. You'd be lucky to get a scooter for $50.
Yeah. And I went and paid my truck insurance today, and I was in a hurry.
Well, see, if you got insurance on both them vehicles, you're supposed to get a big discount because now they're insurance 2 versus 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get that discount or not, but I'm just saying. And if you got a good driving record, and if you don't drive all that far, all that's supposed to be in favor towards getting a discount too.
But I forgot to ask them that today.
But you know where they'll also plug you at? Your age.
Oh yeah.
They'll start looking at you towards you being a high risk. You'll go from a moderate risk to a high risk, and of course that's going to affect how much money that they charge you every month.
There's no way that I could change from Farm Bureau to State Farm to Progressive to Allstate and get a lower premium. It'd be higher.
So they're taking care of you.
Oh yeah, Farm Bureau. I've been with them
in that aspect. They're taking care of you. That's good.
But
That's
what
good.
I'm saying though, say for example, I wanted to change insurance companies. They ain't no telling what it cost me now because of my age.
Yeah, because of your age.
But I've been Farm Bureau so long, you know.
You kind of get grandfathered in.
Yeah. And everything.
They look at people's eyesight, your hearing. Is he as accurate as he used to be? Is he top notch like he used to be?
Yeah.
They weigh all that stuff out. They got they got books for that stuff. That analogies people.
How long has it been since you had an accident? Has you ever been stopped for DUI?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Of course, I've never had.
Now your credit rating in America can actually be affected of whether or not you had a bad check, or you was late on your light bill, or you didn't pay somebody on rent, or et cetera, et cetera. I mean, now they look at everything. They scrutinize everything. But yet now we'll let all these illegals into America, and we don't even, most of them don't even have a Social Security number, much less we know anything about their background. And we'll let them in over here?
You know what your credit score is?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, mine's over 700.
I have no idea. I ain't borrowed no money. I ain't.
Well, believe it or not, that can actually hurt you. Because you're not showing.
Well, I've been aiming on going to.
You're not showing being what do they call it?
Alive, I guess.
No, being reliable. Being reliable.
Yeah.
In other words, if you don't have nothing to prove that you're reliable towards making at least this amount of payment, even though it's a low payment, it can actually go against you on a bank loaning you money. So you need to have something, even if it's just something from Sears and Roebuck or Lowe's or something.
I've been aiming on going
It's
to
something
Regions
small.
Bank. You know, of course, that's where I do
Yeah, something small.
banking and stuff. And just go inside. I always go drive through. And just go inside and ask them
Right,
to pull up my credit score.
right.
See if I got one.
But getting back to that explosion. Bubba, by rights, I should have got a medal
Yeah.
from the governor of the state of Oklahoma that the president of the United States honored. But instead, I guarantee you can type my name in and you'll still see negativity on top of negativity upon bad, basically scarring and marring and destroying my character. Scarring and marring and destroying my character. Bubba, you've lost some weight since last time I seen you too.
I'm down about. Let me turn my bathroom light off.
How are you losing your weight?
I don't know. Well, I don't eat but 2 meals a day.
Oh, okay, that's why you become more conscientious of what you're eating
Well, see what I do.
and the amount that you're eating.
Well, what I do, Dennis.
Plus, you're staying active. You're still
Oh yeah, I go outside and work.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I'll get up in the morning, drink coffee, listen to news,
Coffee's got it outrageous to buy now in Walmart, hasn't it?
and I'll drink about 2 cups, 3. Well, by that time it's around about 9:30, 10
I had
o'clock.
I had a doctor tell me one time about my diabetes problem. He said, "What you need to do is only drink 1 cup of coffee." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you only need to drink 1 cup of coffee." I said, "Do you realize that whenever I was growing up, it was nothing uncommon for my mother to make as many as 7 pots of coffee a day? Every time you see them, they had a coffee pot,
Yeah, my mama did too.
coffee can in her hand."
Mama had coffee going all day long. She'd run.
And you gonna tell me I only have one? I can only have 1 cup?
Oh, mama.
But
Mama drank coffee all day. just
But
about.
getting back to what hurt me is I told the truth. And have you ever taken notice, kind of like Al Gore telling the truth about global warming? That actually backfired with Al Gore to the degree that the state of Tennessee did not even hold their own man up.
Yeah, I know
Did
it.
you know he would have become president if the state of Tennessee
Yeah.
would have held him up? That was over all that hanging Chad stuff. And come to find out, now going on 30 years or whatever, he hit the money on the head.
Yeah.
We are damaging the
Now
earth.
you know
We are causing. Did you not see that flood that hit over there in Alaska the other day?
Yeah.
That displaced about almost 2,000 people.
Yeah.
You know,
15.
did you ever figure out what it was? It was all the elements come together at the same time. It was high tide,
Like a hurricane?
full moon, hurricane force winds out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and the sea rising pertaining to the meltation of the ice, and everything fit together just right towards the perfect storm, and that's what basically done that kind of damage.
Oh, it showed them flying people out of there.
It's just a matter of time before all the elements is going to come back together again.
You know, I've been thinking.
Towards New Orleans going back underwater again. You wait and see. Those levees that the Corps of
Yeah.
Engineers went out there and spent hundreds of millions of dollars to build back. You wait and see.
I remember something you told me, I don't know how long ago it's been. It's been years. You was talking about oil, or we were. You talking about all people drilling the oil and everything. And you was talking about how not only the United States but other countries, they drill this oil, and you was telling me about the layers of the earth,
Yeah.
you know, sand,
Yeah.
gravel, clay.
Hard pan,
Yeah,
and then you go on down. Yeah.
yeah. That they're eventually going to make everything weak, and it's going to start falling in.
That's what's happening. That's why. Have you not seen the Ring of Fire that goes down through South America and goes all the way back around? Have you not seen these big cracks and stuff? Have you not heard the news pertaining to the cracks that they found in the mighty Mississippi that's basically sucking the Mississippi dry? Have you not heard about the Gulf, the power of the Gulf, that whenever the Mississippi does get so weak that it starts almost drying up, then all of a sudden all this Gulf salt water comes flooding back into the mouth of the Mississippi down around New Orleans, that contaminates not only New Orleans water system, but contaminates all the aqueducts of all the people for like 100 miles. It gets fresh water off of the Mississippi that all of a sudden becomes contaminated. Now it's got salt in it. Yeah, we in trouble, Bubba. This thing's going south every day in areas that you never would have thought of. Just like I'm telling you right now, all these signals are getting confused to the degree that our GPS is no longer as accurate as what it used to be.
Well, Trump.
And that's part of those electrical disturbances that I tried to warn them people up there in Kentucky about, that took it all out of perspective. Just like in 2009, whenever that ice storm hit them up there, they got over 3.5 inches of ice, and in some places it looked like a nuclear bomb went up. It was taking TVA poles, those big towers that hold them big heavy lines, and twisting them up like pretzels and throwing them off in the Mississippi, in the Tennessee River. Yes, sir.
Well, it's just like,
I went up there and stayed with them for about 2 months doing free humanitarian work when all that stuff happened.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
And plus, whenever I did put out the warning in 2007, there was major drought going on over in East Tennessee. A lot of fires happened. Dollywood had to be out millions of dollars towards helping people build their homes back. Lake Okeechobee down in Florida almost dried up. And plus, the governor of the state of Georgia, Governor Sonny Perdue, got out on the east side and made a declaration for everybody to start praying for rain because their life support system pertaining to their water supply on the other side of Duluth, Georgia, had dried up and there wasn't but about 15% of the water left. And they had no idea where they was going to get the rest of the water. Now, since then, they were supposed to have been working on a project, I don't know if they have, towards getting water from the one of the areas of Mississippi in case that ever happened again. Kind of like the Bigme project, whenever
Bigme waterway.
the waterway project that now you can take a small, or even a barge and take it from the Gulf now and bring it into the mouth of the Tennessee River without having to go up the Mississippi and then over to Tennessee. That saved hundreds of miles.
Where did they build that darn thing?
Oh, they built it all the way down, all the way to the Gulf.
Yeah, but
It comes out over at Pickwick. Comes out of Pickwick over there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like whenever they built whenever they built the Panama Canal.
Huh?
Right, the Panama Canal that's basically on the southern tip of Mexico, going into the northern tip of South America, right before you get to the equator, where the equator changes. It was costing billions of transporting goods that goes all the way around South America and then back up. Besides that, the seas in the tip of South America are the most dangerous seas out there. I don't know how many freaking ships and how many sailors' lives has that area has ate up.
Well, that canal, Trump done something. What was that?
He put a brake on it because they was basically showing favoritism to China and letting China go in there for half the amount of money. Basically, I think it was stupid in Carter ever giving the Panama Canal over to begin with.
Yeah, and Trump says that's ours.
It is ours.
Yeah, it don't belong to
We're the one that built it.
Yeah, it don't belong to China.
You realize how many people died of mosquito poison, malaria, and all kinds of other stuff, alligator bites, and all. I mean, that wasn't nothing but a freaking jungle down there, brother.
They had that on news talking about that Panama.
Ain't no telling how many
Canal.
American people died building that thing.
Yeah, they talking about all just what you said.
Get all kinds of sicknesses and stuff down
diseases.
there. Fever.
Yeah. Building that damn thing.
And to think that Jimmy Carter gonna give it away? Let somebody else be in control over it? No. That's stupid.
Trump.
But it was stupid in what we done in Afghanistan towards walking away and leaving how many billions of $2.5 billion worth of equipment over there?
Yeah.
Was that not stupid? Could they have not
Biden done that shit.
Could they not have put explosives in that stuff and exploded it and at least tore it all to pieces before we walked away from it? Or dug a big hole and buried it in the dang sand or something?
All military equipment.
Military grade stuff.
Yeah. Now Trump, of course, I doubt if he ever do it, but he said he's gonna get all that back. But I don't know if he will or not.
If he does, he's gonna have to go over and take it.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna volunteer it.
Oh hell no.
That's kind of like whenever he was running for president, talking about gonna drain the swamp, pertaining to all these illegal immigrants. I knew then. I said, you may do it, but if you do it, you're gonna have to do it out of force because they ain't just gonna volunteer to walk up and give out their identity that they're over here illegal.
Yeah.
That way you can ship them back where they come from. You're going to have to find them, and then you're going to have to manhandle them down. And in some cases, you actually may have to get down and dirty with them.
That'd kill some of them.
I got a lot of respect for ICE because whenever I was out there in Phoenix, I seen what them guys was doing, pretending all those illegals coming over the border. Oh my God!
Shit, Trump done put a stop to all that shit.
I think he done put a stop to a lot of it.
Well, they had on the news last week. In so many months, there's been zero.
I know.
Come across that.
The word got out, didn't it?
Yeah.
The free ride's over.
Yeah, Trump meant it. And zero had come across that.
The free ride's over.
Yeah. And now, like you just said, ICE and other
federal agencies,
federal and all that, get rid of these people that say are illegal.
Well, once more, you got to be fair-minded about that.
Yeah.
You really do. And if they're over here and they shouldn't be over here, and they're just scum on the earth to begin with, get rid of them.
Well,
Get rid of them.
Yeah, I saw on the news that down in Florida, two men, broke into this house, and had this woman had a camera built. Well, had it mounted in some bushes.
Oh, that tree stand.
Yeah, that tree stand. Caught them suckers.
Really?
Yeah, they caught them.
So they must have left some evidence behind or something, huh?
Hell, they caught them before they backed out the damn driveway.
Really?
That's how quick the damn law was on that ass.
Really? Good for them.
It showed on news.
Good for them.
And they were illegal. That's what I'm getting at.
Really? They was illegals?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it showed them on that camera. Had the stuff in bags, and they had the bags thrown over their back, like toting a sack or something. and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Hell, they caught them before they got out of that driveway. That's quick.
Well, there was another guy they caught in the bushes with a gun that was going to attempt assassination on the president too. We know there's been two, so that makes three now. That's three. There are two attempts. There's two indirect attempts towards taking the president's life, and one direct attempt that actually hit his ear.
Yeah, but he's dead.
I know.
Yeah, he's dead.
But there was lots of questions about the authenticity of Secret Service that day towards why they didn't do their jobs effectively.
Wasn't he in Missouri?
I don't know who that guy was.
No, I'm talking about when he had that rally. Where was Trump when he got shot in the ear?
I thought he was up towards Minnesota somewhere or something.
What state?
I don't know. He has so many daggone rallies, you can't keep up with all of them. I don't even try to keep up with that stuff.
That one guy that had his start his trial today. Hell! All that shot Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Start his trial today.
Bubba, don't you think people that you know are guilty of that charge, a state capital charge, don't you believe that the citizens are being taken advantage of towards giving these people like 20 years of appeals to where they can keep appealing and keep appealing? I think whenever you know that they're guilty of that charge, they should only be allowed one appeal and one appeal only.
That's right. Well, hell, just like that guy killed them 4 college students up there in Illinois, Idaho, or somewhere up there.
Yeah.
Caught his ass and everything.
How about the guy that killed his daughters? Did you see that on the news? That was kind of whacked out too.
What, 3 girls? Or?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
We got some mean people in the world, Bubba. I'm talking about people that they just don't want to slap you around and mess your life up a little bit. They want to kill you. They want to kill me. They want to put the killing on people.
What made that man?
The devil. The devil. And the Bible says that the devil will come down in great wrath in the last days because he knoweth his time is short, and he will come down in great wrath. I think these storms are coming down by the devil. I think the devil, the satanic supernatural spiritual movement can enter into a human being just like it can enter into a computer, just like it can enter into the GPS towards not being accurate, just like it can enter into a lion, or just like it can enter into a storm.
Yeah, all these, talking about that computers, all these viruses.
I know.
All that crap.
I know. And what was it last week? We had another electrical disturbance pertaining to the computer system shutting down, and it cost billions, not millions, but billions of dollars.
Hell, Amazon had to shut down the other day because of something.
That's what I'm saying.
Cost them, I don't know how much.
Paramount has been hacked. The Pentagon has been hacked. Just about everybody and their brother over here has went through that in some form or fashion.
Well, they talking about China owning so much land here in the United States,
and they're buying up ground around our military compounds.
Yeah.
Besides that, if I'm not mistaken, does China own Tyson?
That I don't know.
Have you ever thought about them buying up all these food industries, kind of like Kelly Foods or whatever? Why are they doing that? Why are they making these investments in all the food products? I'm going to tell you why. Because if them people over there start starving to death, and we start starving to death, and they own the food market over here,
Yeah.
they're going to start sending their stuff across seas
Yeah.
and taking care of their own people. Just like whenever COVID hit. Whenever COVID hit, there was a whole shipment, I don't know how many billions of dollars worth of medical supplies coming over here. And you know what the president over in China done? Caught on the phone, call them up, turn it around, bring it back here.
But
You
so
think
what-
they give a damn about us?
Why does the United States let them though? Why?
How come we were so stupid to become so gullible in 92% of all our medical supplies and our medication come from China?
Yeah.
We're setting ourselves up for a fall. Just like everybody becoming reliable on the internet and everything.
Yeah.
Well, if that shit was to shut down, Bubba, how long do you think it would take before major rioting would break out in all these city stores, people breaking in and stealing food out of grocery stores and stuff? I'm going to say it'd be less than 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
It would start. I don't know how bad it would get, but it would start.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I tell you what.
It would throw us back off into the dark ages. And the thing about the dark ages, Bubba, these people don't know how to raise a garden. They don't know how to eat and cook and skin a squirrel. They don't know how to cook and catch a fish. They don't know nothing about nothing. If that phone right there don't explain to them what to do,
Yeah.
they're lost.
Well, they showed on TV
They're lost.
that this woman is making a cake instead of going to an old recipe book or something. She's on the phone. It's telling her how to make that cake.
Did you know that they can perform operations now with a computer?
I wouldn't doubt it a damn bit.
Can go in. The hand will be more steadier pertaining to the computer that will direct that laser just exactly where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it may take them hours to get that tumor or whatever that they're working on, get it out of there. But now computers do it. It's more accurate than humans. More accurate. Yes, sir. I mean, it's steady. It don't move.
Yeah.
It don't jar. It don't do nothing. I mean, it's right there. It's unbelievable. So there is good in the technology, but there's also a hell of a lot of bad.
Yeah.
And have you ever believed it? What it's doing to these teenagers,
These young kids, that's what, you took it right out of my
It's
mouth.
driving them off into a state of suicide. It's causing them to lose friends.
Well, they're trying to put a stop to a lot of it.
Yeah, they're finally putting their foot down towards no longer accepting telephones into the school system.
Yeah.
And that
Well,
and it
they're
never should
taking-
have started.
Well,
Never should have started.
They're taking a bunch of that stuff off the phone that the kids have been looking at.
And
Like
that's,
naked
and
pictures
that's a good
and
thing
having
too.
sex.
That's a good
and-
thing too. That's a
Huh?
good thing too.
Oh, yeah, it's a good thing.
That never should have been exposed that way. And once more, who failed us in that department? Our Congress,
Government.
our
Well,
politicians,
yeah.
our government failed us.
Yeah.
They let all this stuff come in here on top of our families.
Well,
And can't protect their families. They can't protect them from cyber. They can't protect them from what they see, what they hear, what they taste, what they smoke, what they do, who they are. I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
you know, to me, it's one country trying to keep up with another country. Well, you ain't go out and do me. United States gonna be number one. China gonna be number two. Russia be whatever.
But they're all struggling towards who's going to be the king of the mountain.
That's right.
And you know what's really going to get down to the nip and tuck? The money.
Yeah.
Who's going to be in control of the new euro? Or who's going to be in control of the monetary digital money? Who's the one that's actually going to be in power here?
Boy, just
And you know, me and you, we really don't. I mean, we think about these things, but really and truly, we're at our age right now. Is it really going to affect us one way or the other right now? But you know who it is going to affect? Our children.
yeah.
And our grandchildren. And they're going to have to inherit this stuff, Bubba. They're going to have to inherit this stuff because people like me and you either wasn't smart enough or strong enough to stop it from coming up onto them.
What would happen, Dennis? What would happen now? If all of a sudden we'd have to go back into the 50s and 60s,
We'd be doomed.
what would happen to people?
We'd be doomed.
They wouldn't know what the hell to do.
I seen a report one
Don't
time.
nobody know how to go out and kill a rabbit.
I seen a report one time shortly after the Civil War. This was in the 20th century, 1901, they've done a statistic, and over 68% of the population of people in America was associated with the agriculture communities in some form or fashion. If they wasn't doing nothing but selling goods or taking them off a truck and putting them onto another truck. Today, less than 2% of the population in America has anything to do with the agriculture communities at all. Less than 2%. So what the hell are they going to do? You think they're going to learn overnight how to grow a garden? You think they're going to learn overnight how to handle a gun and shoot a squirrel and know how to skin it, or how to know how to fish?
Hell.
They ain't going to know. They're going to be. I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to divert over to violence.
Yeah.
They're
Hell,
going to
hell,
divert
let me
over
know.
to violence, and it will become one of the worst scenes in history. And of course, the Bible validates that by saying that God will throw us off in a great tribulation, and that there will be a time of trouble, the Bible says,
Yeah.
such as humanity has never ever seen before and never ever will see before again. We're at that breaking point of that happening. Just like that gallon of milk spoiling.
Yeah.
Whenever the money starts going bad and it collapses, why do you think gold's going so high for? Because these daggum banks, these investors are seeing this thing coming up on us, and that's the only way that they can secure their investment is by going with the gold.
Gold. Yeah.
That's the reason why gold is over $4,000.
Well, silver's done went up some.
All of it has.
Yeah.
Any commodity like that's going
Yeah.
up. And just think, all our computers, all our satellites, all our space technology, all our medical technology, everything's got either silver or gold or brass or something in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's this actor, and he's been advertising this for I don't know how many years.
That the collapse is coming.
Buy gold. Buy gold.
That the collapse
buy
is
gold.
coming.
And back then, gold wasn't nothing to buy. And here I sit here and watch it, and I get thinking all them years he's been advertising that, I wish the hell I'd had some money to buy me some gold.
Well,
And hell, they don't tell me
no,
what I'd
that,
be
but
worth.
we should have invested in UPS and FedEx whenever they first started coming out back in the 80s.
That's right.
My God, if we would have put stocks and bonds and all that, you realize how much money we'd be worth
Well,
right
I'd be
now?
a rich man.
Have you ever seen a Enterprise grow the way that they did? Now they've got FedEx airplanes, they got UPS airplanes, they got everything. Matter of fact, you go down there at Memphis half the time and sit there and watch the flights coming in and out, and about a third of them will be all mail. Mail.
Yeah, FedEx or UPS.
Go to UPS in Paris, where one of their hubs are, and just sit back and see all the trucks backing in and getting all the mail and putting it on the trucks and taking it out. That's where all the trees are going. That's where all the trees are going, Bubba.
Yeah.
It takes trees to make paper.
Yeah. And you know something I seen the other day? Down this road, first time I ever seen them. I seen them on TV.
They've done a whole lot of cutting around here towards clearing off the forest around here. I don't know who was doing that, but they have cut a lot around you.
But what I was gonna say, I seen the first Amazon truck. Of course, I see UPS and FedEx all day going up and down this road. The other day was the first Amazon truck.
Way out this far in the country.
Yeah. Oh, all this timber, that's Chickasaw.
The park rangers of the park is the ones profiting off of that.
Yeah, cutting all that. I guess state of Tennessee, you know.
No, it goes back to the park.
Does it?
Sure.
Man, they've been. I mean, when you hit 100 up here going towards Henderson.
Well, it goes back to the pool of the parks.
Yeah.
The pool.
And every time I see a place they done cut or starting to cut everything, I said, well, I guess the state of Tennessee going broke.
As long as they're not strip cutting, I don't have a problem in it. As long as they can leave 4 or 5 trees over here, 4 or 5 trees over there.
Select cut. Yeah.
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 Select cutting. I don't have a problem in it. But whenever they go in there and strip out a whole freaking mountainside,
Like they're doing. Hell, that's what Chicksaw's doing.
well, they're probably got plans to turn it into something else then. because for surely to God, whenever it comes to land erosion and confirmation, for surely consolation, for surely God, they've got more enough sense not to clean out a whole freaking mountainside, because that's the problem that they're having right now over there in California, where all them fires,
Yeah.
it cleaned out all them trees.
Yeah.
Now, whenever it does come a flood, mudslide.
Mudslide.
It's unbelievable in what's going on right now.
You ought to, during the daytime, now I do this during the day, I ain't doing it at night, because you can't see shit. But once they cut a strip off of Chickasaw, they'll leave a road. And of course, gotta be dry, I ain't going down it wet. I'll drive down through there. Man, just cutting the timber, just cut everything that's.
And I'm going to tell you something else you probably had never thought about that you brought up pertaining to some of that stuff that I was talking about years ago, pertaining to draining all the oil out of the ground.
Yeah.
That basically was put there for a heat shield.
Yeah.
Because the center of the ground is basically 10,000 degrees. That core, that's part of what helps our magnetic poles stay together, pertaining to North Pole and South Pole. Okay? Whenever you eliminate all that oil, you're allowing for that heat to expand out of the earth. And where's the first place it's going to hit? The base of the oceans. The water.
Yeah.
The water. And now we have found out that you can take devices, and it's not logical to start out at one temperature, and as you go deeper and deeper, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles deep, the water gets warmer. It ain't supposed to be that way.
Ooh, that joker got
We are warming up the oceans because of draining the oil substances out of the ground, I promise you. And besides that, when we get talking about the trees, you know, we're on the pneumatic fault right here, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know that.
And I've done told you about the big cracks in the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Some of them up around St. Louis where they've detected them. I'm talking about humongous freaking glaciers where water just probably trillions of gallons of water going down through there every day. What holds ground together? The root system of the trees.
Trees, yeah.
Well, you cut down all the trees, the root system's going to die.
Exactly.
So if you ain't got a root system, and we have another 9-point whatever earthquake that caused the mighty Mississippi to run backwards for 3 days, 3 nights, like they had back in 1812 and 1812, you talk about damage. Because you no longer have the root system. Back whenever that occurred, it was nothing but forest up through here. It was plentiful forest. Matter of fact, Davy Crockett said it was one of the most plentiful hunting areas that he had ever seen in his life. There used to be black bear up here, Bubba.
Yeah.
Black bear. Our whole everything has changed.
Yeah.
We used to not see no armadillos. Now we see armadillos all the time.
Yeah.
You run over one of them, they're probably gonna punch
You're
you.
talking about a black bear. They had on news, it's been several weeks ago, months ago probably. Yeah, they spotted one up there in Savannah. A black bear.
Really?
Up in Savannah. And you know what I said?
Probably done got on one of them barges or something, done floated down or something.
I don't know. What I said, you know, just when they said
Probably
that,
come down from the north, down through Minnesota somewhere, from the Mississippi into the Tennessee River, and probably done jumped off. And they claim that's probably what happened with a great deal of those armadillos building so many bridges. They basically started coming over here on the bridges, and that's the reason why we've been inundated. And they also claim that this Cajun carp that's basically contaminated the Tennessee River.
Yeah.
That originally it was farmers back in the 50s and 60s that had these big ponds. And they had algae all in them all the time. And somebody told them, well, if you get you some carp and put out there, and they'll eat up all that algae. Well, they do. But nobody told them that whenever the flood waters come and the waters get out, where's all your carp going to go? It's going to go to every other source you can think of.
That's right.
They're going to come out of the pond, and then they're going to get into the river, and they're going to contaminate the river.
Well, you talking about them black bears. Remember years ago, I don't know what year it was.
They actually had black bear hunting up in East Tennessee.
Yeah, but though they let some loose, remember? Up there to start a population. Hell, it showed on TV where they had collars around them, had ear tags in their ears and everything.
May have had. They may have gathered up some from somewhere else and come
I
out
don't know where
there.
they brought them from, but I remember
But
seeing
they
it on
do stuff
TV.
like that quite frequently.
I
Or
guess.
or they'll take trout and drop them off in various streams up there in East Tennessee that goes up through Cherokee Forest, where you can still go up there and trout fish.
I guess they want people when they go up to the Smokies. I guess they want them to see bears now.
Well,
of course, there's bears up
they
there.
want to keep it as natural as possible.
Yeah, of course, there's bears up there, you know. I was up there with my son. He
And
had-
usually they don't get no bigger than what, 4 foot,
oh, I don't know.
maybe 400 or
Black
500
bear.
pounds. They ain't like no grizzlies
Oh, shit, no.
or the big
Brown bear.
Eskimo bears up.
No.
But have you noticed that their infrastructure in Alaska is breaking apart? They call it something frost, and basically their road structures are breaking apart. Where houses are, they're starting to lean and fall and break the foundation. The thermofrost is melting to the degree that it's tearing up their everything.
Well,
And that's all part of what Al Gore tried to warn people about
Yeah.
during the presidential race that he run for, as far as global warming. It's happening. It's happening.
I watch these shows sometime, you know, about Alaskans and stuff. And these people are talking how the temperature is changing. And matter of fact,
The environment's changing.
it was Wednesday night I was watching it. And this guy says usually this time of the year in Alaska, it's going to be around 26 degrees. Well, here it is now, 40.
Well, there was
You know,
a few years ago,
things
long
are
about
changing.
Christmas time, it was about freezing here, and it was registering temperatures up there in a certain part of Alaska that was up about 70 degrees. I don't know if you remember that or not. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. Everything's changing.
And now,
And it doesn't make sense. Listen to me. It doesn't make sense. Let's say we're in a dead winter time, right?
huh?
Let's say we're in the winter time,
Yeah.
and everything around us basically is all in sync with one another.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, well, about Christmas time, it'll get up into the 80s, and we'll have an outbreak of tornadoes like what happened recently towards hit over there in Kentucky, and it killed over 100 people, stayed on ground for over 250 miles. That was right like 2 or 3 days before Christmas, Bubba.
Since you brought that up,
How come a pocket comes up and it's still cold in the southern states and it's still cold in Mexico, but yet no, all of a sudden we have, I think it's either coming from up above
Yeah.
or it's coming from down below. Because they call it domes now.
Yeah,
they say
dome.
a heat dome has created
Yeah.
here.
yeah, heat dome. I went to the bank today. I went, like I told you a while ago, I go through the drive-thru. This little black girl, she's mainly white, you know, but you can tell, you know,
Yeah.
named Elizabeth. And she asked me, she said, is this still chilly out there? I said, yeah. And I looked at my truck and it said 66 degrees, you know, outside. And I told her, I said, Elizabeth, I said, I remember on Christmas Day, it's been 80-something degrees here.
It's very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. I think the Farmer's Almanac misses it now more than it hit it. Now they're saying this winter we're going to have a tough winter.
Yeah, I know it. I've heard that.
I don't know how true it's going to be, and I think they base that off the angle of the Earth and what side it is on the sun versus the moon and all that other stuff. In other words, they do like an assessment, kind of like they do with a storm. Do you know there's a hurricane brewing right now down south?
Oh, I know it.
That's liable to wind up going in any direction. They don't know yet for sure what direction it's
Well,
going
they
to go
said
in.
tonight it's going, when it goes to Cuba, it's going to go out sea. It's not going to come towards us. It's going out in the sea. What they said.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, that's my heat.
I hope so, because
Well, that's what he said tonight.
them hurricanes have been playing havoc. Who would have thought that whole mountainsides up in East Tennessee and North Carolina would have just basically been destroyed? Whole towns. Whole town's gone.
I know it.
We ain't never seen nothing like that.
What was it this summer? Those kids were at this campsite or something, and it flooded and killed all them children,
That was in Texas.
and they still got one missing.
That was in Texas. And the bad thing about it is they have known that area
Yeah,
was
Texas.
flood prone.
Yes,
And they didn't have proper equipment out there to warn the people.
and you know what? I saw on the news the other day that they're still going to have campgrounds there. They're still going to continue it.
They probably will, but they'll
But
probably
there's people against it. But they're,
they'll have special equipment out there though,
oh,
as far
I
as
bet you. I bet you.
you know they got fog horn, those big horns now
Yeah.
that'll go off, and I think the radius on them things is something like 100 miles.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But you got something like a freaking big diesel engine that's turning this big freaking thing that's making that noise
Lord.
too.
Well, when we talking about Alaska, Trump today said Alaska was going to start pumping oil.
Well, they've been pumping oil.
Huh?
Alaska's been pumping oil.
Well, no. Today Trump said that. See, Biden put a hold on that. Remember?
That's right.
Wanted that pipeline. Remember they come so far.
That's right.
What, in Colorado, and they stopped it or something?
Somewhere down in there.
Or Biden.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Trump said,
That he's going to open it back up.
"Yep, we're gonna start pumping oil." And I know it's our
Well,
gas.
you got to admit, the world right now is in an energy shortage,
Oh yeah.
and I guess the way I understand it, that he's fixing to put some new boycotts out on Russia, pertaining to what they're doing towards oil industry, selling them oil, basically is profiting off of their war over there.
He's gonna put more tariffs than something else on Russia. Cause Putin, he don't.
But it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag pertaining to what Trump's doing right now, and some of it may help us in the long run, but some of us may hurt us in the short
yeah.
run. These people can play that same game, and you keep in mind whenever it comes to America being number one in industry, and number one in agriculture, number one in the medical, and number one in this, and number one, we're no longer number one. And whenever they talk about China stealing ideals or information from us, Bubba, they ain't stealing nothing. Whenever they allowed, after Kennedy's assassination, to bring in the international student program in all these colleges and universities, they don't have to steal nothing. All they got to do is sit and watch our TV and see our ideals, and then get on telephone or the computer and type it back and say, hey, they're making this and this, this, and this for
That's
this
right.
amount of money. We can cut them this amount and still make a product.
That's right.
We've given the farm away.
Oh yeah.
We've
yeah.
given the farm away.
Yeah.
And that may be one of the reasons why Kennedy got assassinated, because it was the president that become president after him that was all for that student exchange stuff.
You know, the other day, and it didn't dawn on me. It was a holiday, but yet they was having these riots, and they called them king riots.
No king.
No king.
No king. No king.
And it didn't dawn on me. Well, what they was doing, the way I understand it, they're saying that Trump wants to be the king. And then Trump come and
It's not that Trump wants to be a king. It's that the population wants to diminish the seat of the presidency. I have seen it through preachers and Bible revivals and listening to various people, and them categorizing the people in the Bible equal to Christ. Equal to Christ. And Bubba, whenever they're doing that, they're slandering the seed of Christ, because the seed of Christ is above and beyond all other people, including Mary, including Virgin Mary. There's nobody that can compare to Jesus' position. And that's what they're doing. They're attacking the position, the president's position. Yeah. So it's not that Donald Trump is trying to be king, rather it's the population trying to diminish his position.
Well, he's sitting there in the Oval Office.
Who would have thought whenever that ordeal happened over there in Israel that so many universities and colleges would have sided with Hamas? Did
Well,
you
that's
see
true.
that?
Yeah,
That was worldwide.
yeah. I know it. And well,
That
just
was
like-
worldwide. That tells me that the world today is more for the Antichrist than they are for the righteous Christ. Now,
Yeah.
50 years ago, shortly after World War II, the world wasn't that way. The world was more humble. And going back to the 1 out of 10
Yeah.
versus the 9 out of 10,
Yeah.
everything's flipped.
He barking at something.
Everything's changed. I got another dog out here in the car. He's about this long. He's about this high, and he's about maybe 6 weeks old, and he's identical color to him, but he's gonna be about half of that dog. I guess I need to get out there and tend to him. He's probably out there whining and stuff.
Yeah, he probably got to pee.
Well,
You tell me about that.
I had him in a box. Had his food and water and stuff in a box. But he may have gotten out of the box, so I
Well,
got to
he-
go. That's probably what he's barking at, though, is that little bitty puppy. I'm going to take him home. He needed a buddy.
Yeah. Was he going to be the same size as?
No, he
Oh.
won't even be half the size.
Oh, so he likes him.
He'll be a mid-size. That would be good for him towards having a buddy.
Well, does he like him now?
He's leery of him. He's a baby puppy. He ain't never been around a baby puppy,
Yeah.
but he ain't mean to him. If he was mean to him, I'd already done
That
spanked
puppy
him.
probably out there whining.
That's what I'm